Hey, what's good, what's good, what's good? Welcome to Reflections of a DJ, the R.O.A.D podcast presented by DJcity and Beatport.
It's changing. Surprise.
I am one of your hosts, DJ Crooked. We got Jamie the Great.
Yeah.
We got DJ Peter, the Tech Master.
What's up, man?
What's good, babe? And then big shout out to our boy, Never Forever. Rest in peace,
Forever and
brother.
ever.
Yes.
We are here in Vegas and we have a special guest. You know, he's a San Jose legend. East Side raised, 408 to the core.
Hey.
He's been holding it down in the Bay for over 30 years as a DJ, producer, remixer, radio host, and a teacher.
Yes.
Teaching generations of DJs in the Bay since the 2000s. And he just launched his first school, First Wave Preservation Society.
Sir.
But we call it First Wave, right?
Yes, sir.
He's a founding member of the Bangers, formerly known as the Finger Bangers. Wonder why they changed that name.
Yeah.
But the Bangers is the crew behind the Jabberwockies Las Vegas show music. A champion DJ crew that took home the 2001 DMC Regionals and the ITF Western Teen Championships in the 2000s.
Yes, sir.
He's been a fixture on radio since Wild 94.9. He's now a host for Culture Shock on Rock the Bells radio for Sirius XM.
Sir.
This happened since August. He's been on our bucket list for years. Please welcome Bay Area's finest playlist retreat alumni, DJ Cutso.
Hey.
Thanks for having me, fellas.
Cutso, what's good, man?
Yo, man. I've been on the bucket list.
Y'all bucket list for a minute.
Wow.
So I've been planning a Bay Area trip for R.O.A.D podcast for maybe 3-4 years.
Okay.
Longer than that, yeah.
Yeah. Where it's like everyone from the Bay, from Arcade, Miles Medina, you know, everybody.
Yeah.
But yeah, you were definitely on the list for that.
Cool, man.
And this was also Shortcut before Shortcut was like in Vegas, and we finally got an episode with him.
Yeah.
But it's a pleasure to have you on, man.
Man, thanks for having me. It's a pleasure to be on.
Yeah.
It's an honor and a pleasure.
We finally like connected at NAMM.
Yes.
Right.
Yeah.
And so we had you on our R.O.A.D Talk series.
Yes.
And you went kind of viral for your comment. Right? Yeah.
I mean, you know,
Titty bitty.
if that's what spitting truth brings you, then yeah, I guess so. You know.
Yeah. So we had you on the R.O.A.D Talk series, and then you were kind of mentioning how like one of the red flags for DJs is social media and the followers.
Yeah.
And how the young DJs are focusing on the followers, but then it's also a problem because the clubs and the venues and promoters are focusing on the followers.
Yes,
right?
yeah. So everything's like metric based now, and like, you know, they strictly read the metrics before they read the resume, before they actually see this person playing, and you know, when they get to the room, they can't hold it. It's like, oh well, y'all fucked up there.
And you were like, big surprise, they can't hold the
Surprise. You know what I mean?
room. And everyone loved that.
Yeah, man. You know, we also talked about what was the other one that we had mentioned that you guys clipped? It was when people show up and they're like, yo, when you go book me, dog? Like, you know, that sense of entitlement, like,
Right.
Yo, like, I've never seen your face before, bro.
Say hello first.
Yeah, good to meet you too.
Yeah.
You know, so yeah, I think speaking on, you know, like that sense of entitlement that some people have, where like, yo, you ain't booked me yet, dog. It's like, who the fuck are you, bro? Like,
Yeah, but you can also gauge like with kind of the generations of DJs because you've been teaching and kind of like, you know, advising DJs since the 2000s.
Yeah.
Can you see like a difference and a change in every generation?
I mean, every generation is going to have those cats that feel like, you know, like entitled to something. But then, you know, like I like to, like when I, you know, tell my students, like they always ask about networking. We talk about how to network, how to like approach, you know, people, how to get yourself out there. And it's like, yo, man, like first things first is show up to the community you want to be a part of.
Yep.
You know what I mean? And people, you know, over the generations, like people have been good about that. And usually people get booked based on the rapport they make with people. You know, you could be the dopest DJ in the world, but if you're not out there shaking hands and kissing babies with the right people, like they're not going to know you exist.
Knowing that you've been teaching DJs since the 2000s, what's something you notice firsthand that you're like, oh, this DJ is going to really make it? They're going to be something.
I think just the way they absorb the lessons, the way they kind of understand what's in front of them. Yeah, it's usually like, you know, like some people just have a natural knack for things. And some people even have like, you know, musical backgrounds. So like that always comes out first and foremost. And, you know, you could have somebody who like really, you know, wants to be a part of it and appreciates the game and studies it, but have no concept of rhythm or anything like that. So, you know, I try not to go off of like attitude first, you know, it's always like, you know, like how well do you understand what's in front of you?
Like if you had to put it into context, how many generations do you think you've taught? And then how do you feel about this current generation?
I think I've probably taught maybe like at least the last 3 generations of DJs.
Right. I mean, like there's so many DJs that I encounter in the Bay Area and their starting point was you.
Yeah. I mean, it's always either like, I've either, they've come to my parties or I've like, had some one-on-one time with them where like they came and had a session with me or something, or like they know somebody through me. But yeah, man, I think to answer your question about newer DJs and like the new generation, they're definitely more hungry. And
really?
Yeah.
In what sense? What's the hunger?
Well, they see what's going on social media, right? And like how much of a reaction some of these DJs get, and they're like, I want a piece of that.
Right.
And that's sort of where the disconnect comes in, where it's like, yeah, you can have that too, but you also have to know how to do this shit.
I want that feeling, right?
You want that feeling, and they want to fast track it to that feeling as fast as possible. And they see it even more in front of them now. So everyone thinks they can get a piece of that real quick.
Right.
And
they want a moment like that they can post.
Exactly.
That identifies to them, right?
Yeah.
It's funny because when we were coming up, like in the 90s and 2000s, you wouldn't see those reactions unless you were inside the club.
Unless you were there.
You didn't have that access.
Yeah, exactly.
Now that access is open to everybody.
Yes. And that becomes priority number 1 for a lot of people. I'm not saying everybody in the new generation, because there's a lot of cats that like want to learn the foundational stuff. They want to learn, how to get to, a certain point, like in, just understanding the music.
Right.
But, a lot of it, a lot of people are, chasing the virality of it.
I know that like they're like word of mouth through all the DJs when they would talk with people who wanted to DJ, they'd be like, hit up Cutso.
Yeah.
And you just have this reputation though in the Bay as being really like contributing a lot to the community in multiple ways, from like radio to like events, to like turntablism to like teaching Yoda, to everything, right?
Yeah, straight up, man. I've done it all, dude. I've done everything from weddings and events to DJ battles to touring with acts to doing retail gigs to doing big rooms to doing small rooms. I've done it all, bro. I got stripes in the game, and to know that that really speaks to everybody and puts me in a position where they want to seek my wisdom and what I have to contribute is always a blessing. And like 30 years in the game, I'm still learning shit, man. Like, and I think I can attribute a lot of that to just being a student forever. There's always new things to learn. As long as I'm in the game, I have to adapt with the times.
Right.
So it's always a learning lesson no matter what. And so having that attitude throughout my whole career kind of positioned me in this spot now where like, oh, I have a lot to share. And, so many people on the way up shared with me, like a lot of the OGs that I look up to shared so much game with me. Like,
who are some of the OGs?
Oh man. I mean, we'll start from like the mobile days, like A Touch of Evolution, ATE. They were a big one in San Jose for me. Shout out to DJ EJ, who actually ended up becoming part of our crew for a second.
The Bangers.
Yeah, the Finger Bangers. And
that's a wild name.
Yeah, I mean, we were 17 years old, bro. Like, we were trying to make an impression in the game,
tracks.
you know what I'm saying?
So the Finger Bangers actually came from like kind of more of a scratch.
Yeah, banging your fingers on the mixer.
On the mixer, yeah.
Banging your fingers on the record,
Yeah.
And it had nothing to do with sexuality, bro. We were 17, bro. What is sex?
So the mobile cruise that you're talking about is a major part of the Bay Area scene.
Absolutely.
And the come up. Because it's interesting. We just had Richard Vision and we're talking about LA. And that was not a part of the LA story at all.
No,
LA has completely different roots.
Well, you talk to like the folks in Cerritos, you talk to the Junkies, that was big over there on that side.
Yep.
But like LA proper, probably not.
Yeah, like when I speak to Shortcut, he has a big like startup in the fucking mobile scene.
Yeah, you talk like all those guys, Qbert, Mixmaster Mike, Shortcut, they all started out in mobile crews.
And it also kind of like stems from like dance hall.
Yes.
And the Caribbean Jamaican scene.
Yeah.
With the sound systems, right?
Yes, it's heavily influenced by the Jamaican sound system culture.
Right.
Yeah.
And it's interesting to me that made its way to fucking the Bay.
In the Asian community, no
In
less.
the Asian community.
Right.
Right.
Yeah, it's kind of wild, but I mean, like
More so
that's-
the Filipino community.
more so the Filipino community for sure.
What do you think that connection came from?
I think it was just, I mean, you know, like we had a lot of uncles who DJ'd events and stuff like that, right? Like they had like a, you know, pretty modest setup, but then like once, you know, the younger generation started to kind of, you know, have more access to, you know, gear,
Right.
and like, you know, big, you know, amounts of people with similar interests, everyone just started starting crews. And like I can't trace all the way back to it because I kind of came into it like in the early 90s. But you know, like just radio DJ culture was different at that time. Like there was a lot of quick mixing on, you know, radio. Like so we were exposed to a lot of like really crazy DJ culture through the radio, through the mobile scene. But
So it's funny you mentioned quick mixing, because whenever I think of quick mixing, I think of New York. And then when I talk to like Cali like DJs, there isn't this history of quick mixing. But then when I spoke to like Richard Vision and some house DJs in the early 80s, they said they had to quick mix because they only had like 30-minute time slots to
right,
DJ.
yeah, yeah.
So they wanted to get their shit off in like a small amount of time. Was
Right.
that the same kind of idea with the Bay quick mixing a little bit?
I don't think like the time constraint really played an issue. I think it was just sort of like the art of it, you know, like kind of like the art of, you know, early turntablism, the art of mixtape culture.
Right.
Like a lot of the DJs I knew in the mobile days were making 4-track mixes, and that gave you a certain amount of time to get off as much as you could in a mix.
Right.
So, you know, that translated to like 3 turntable mixing live, you know, because like, you know, with the whole mobile thing, like they wanted to raise the stakes. So some of their DJs started mixing on 3 turntables. Then on the regular, we would hear DJs on the radio play on 3 turntables. So it was just kind of like upping the ante.
But also Filipinos, like, you know, for family affairs, like, you know, fucking outings and fucking cookouts and everything.
Yeah, with the heartbeat of it.
Yeah.
They're like fucking parties, events. They're throwing their own family functions with
Yeah.
like huge family and friends coming through. So it was like kind of already built into culture.
Yeah.
Like
I mean, the
music, everyone doing karaoke and everyone playing music. It was already like a setup in the culture and the community.
The first 2 questions you ask when you're throwing a Filipino family party is who's cooking and who's DJing.
Damn.
And the third question, will there be karaoke?
That's true though.
I mean, it's very similar to like Mexican culture.
That's what I'm saying. It sounds like
Very, very similar.
It's
I know
very
it.
similar.
Same colonizer.
Yeah.
That's literally
the
what
same
it is.
colonizers.
Guzman's for everything. Alvarado.
Right.
Yeah.
And
Garcias.
it's the same thing where it was kind of like you learn from your uncle, right?
Right.
Right.
Yeah. Yeah. I learned from my uncle. Yeah. Cause he moved from the Philippines. He moved in with us when I was like 7. He had a set of turntables. He worked at a record store, and he taught me how to mix with like Depeche Mode and Pet Shop Boys and Kraftwerk.
It's amazing.
Yeah. Those were like, and I still own those records that he taught me with because I inherited his whole collection.
That's dope.
So I still, to this day, like I'll play vinyl gigs and I'll break out some of those OG records that I learned how to mix with.
You said that this is like kind of your favorite era. Like that whole beginning stages of DJing and like the whole kind of mobile cruise.
Yeah.
And just like the turntablist cruise. That's your favorite era, that like whole 90s era.
Yeah, yeah. I think just because it was so young still at the time, and we were just like discovering new ways of doing things, incorporating different things like samplers and things like that, but also, you know, doing 3 turntable mixes, using a 4-track recorder. I learned how to jimmy rig 2 tape decks to make a 4-track recorder at one point early on in my career, because I only had one functional turntable when I was starting out. And so just working with all these hacks and things like that, like once all like the digital revolution came, I was like so well versed and I knew what I wanted to do, because I was like, oh, I used to have to do this with 2 tape decks. Now I can just do this with 1 laptop. Shit, you know, like.
And it was also the time with the music, like hip hop, right?
Yeah.
Because like the bass started getting more representation in hip hop, right?
Yes, yeah, especially around the Hyphy era.
Right. So what was one of like in the early 90s, what was the biggest like kind of representation for the Bay in hip hop for you guys?
Too Short, Hammer,
40.
I was gonna say Hammer.
E40.
So y'all were behind Hammer like that still.
Yeah,
For real.
absolutely, dude. I mean, he was the biggest star in rap.
So like I'm trying to think of it from a Bay Area perspective. So when Hammer came on the scene, you guys knew Hammer from like demos and like radio shit, or like what was it?
Well, yeah, like they put me in the mix and Let's Get It Started and Turn This Mother Out.
Turn This Mother Out, yeah.
Those were already big records locally.
That's crazy.
Yeah, and then when you Can't Touch This came out, it became a worldwide thing, and we were like, oh, y'all catching up? We've been on this shit.
Yeah, that's the funny thing, because being from New York, Hammer was like a radio. It was like we learned it from radio.
Yeah, yeah,
and for you guys, it was like the local sound.
Yeah. Yeah,
it's hard to picture that because
he was Kehlani before Kehlani.
Well, it's tied so much. See, like in my head, I know like Too Short, and we're like probably the early rappers, but I would say like what really registered for us in New York was hieroglyphics.
Sure, yeah,
would be like Del the Funky Homo Sapien, Mr.
Totally.
Dabalina.
Yeah, especially with how boom bap rap was like mainstream rap in New York.
Right.
Like that was our interpretation of like what we were hearing in the East Coast. But also like we grew up around things like, like early like mob Bay Area music where it was very instrument based and like not super like early Too Short stuff, right? Before Hyphy, like pre-Hyphy. But then we also had, Oakland itself was a musical hotbed. We had like En Vogue and Tony, and, a lot like Frankie Beverly and Mays. Like, like we had a lot of like really deep like Bay Area roots in music to start with. Sly Stone. I mean, so when it came time for rap to kind of have its spotlight, Hammer was our like golden boy at the time because he was the first one to find true success out of the Bay Area, and he always represented the Bay no matter what. He shouted out Oaktown every song he had a chance. Like, so, like we grew up listening to a lot of other cats, like like Too Short, E40, The Click, Sibo, Mac Mall, Ray Love, all that stuff. But like Hammer was like our first, we're here.
Wow.
The Bay got something to say.
Yo, roadies and roadies for life. You already know that we rock heavy with DJcity. It's our go-to record pool to download the latest music, edits, and remixes for our DJ sets. So now, Road listeners can join DJcity for only $10.
$10?
Only $10. That's almost 70% off the first month. Make sure you scan the QR code or click the link in the description or go to djcity.com/offer/road to jump on this great deal.
When did you start really taking DJing seriously?
Around the early 90s when my brother started hanging, like he was a dancer, so he used to kick it with a lot of dance crews, and like dance groups and mobile DJs were like hand in hand. And so once he started bringing home mixtapes, I started taking an interest in it. Because,
where were the mixtapes from?
So one of the earliest ones that I really attribute true influence from is one of D Styles early mixes. D Styles and Glenn Oury. He used to go by G Swift at that time. But there was a lot of like slow jam mixes, like slow jam 4-track mixes where they would mix slow jams over booty bass and like electro beats. Multi-track hip-hop mixes. I used to subscribe to this local DJ who would issue monthly mixtapes, and that was the first time I heard Protect Your Neck. That was the first time I heard That's When You Lost, like all these like key gems. I was just like so in, like mixtapes were like my baseball cards at one point.
That's a great way to put it. Great analogy. Yeah.
Because I was a baseball card collector right before that. And once I discovered mixtapes, I was like, oh, okay, I guess this is my new baseball card.
Mickey Mantle rookie.
Yeah, you know what I'm saying? You want this Ken Griffey rookie? Let me get your DJ Clue tapes.
So then did you start seeing any type of like lucrative or like, I can make some money off of this shit early on, or not really?
It wasn't even about money for me.
It was culture, right?
It was culture, dude.
Yeah.
I was just trying to find my place in the game. I knew I loved hip hop. I knew I loved music. I grew up a metalhead too, but like I was a total MTV junkie, and I'd always trying to find my place in music. And I was like, I wasn't very good at the trumpet. I wasn't good at guitar. I wrote raps like in grade school. But once I started hanging around DJs and started, kind of getting a feel for it, I was like, yo, this might be my thing. And so I like went like all in. So
you were definitely inspired by the beat junkies, right?
Absolutely.
Scratch Pickles and all that shit.
Absolutely.
And so coming up, where do you feel like your place was? Was it like kind of an open where they embraced y'all, or was like, yo, I got to earn my chops to like, we want to like kind of continue the legacy of what these motherfuckers are doing, like, well, initially.
Once me and my crew started coming out and doing battles and stuff, because we started at this spot in San Francisco called Zebra Records, where they used to have monthly DJ battles, and we would go there every month. We were like rolling deep, like 6-7 deep at the time. So like we're like, one of us has to win this month, and so we would do that every month. And then like the Pickles, supernatural turntable artists, rest in peace, Rob. Swift Rock. Like all those guys like vouched for us early on because we were the kids, like, oh, these are the next guys up. And so they really like right away they took to us because they're like, yo, like y'all get it and y'all are young, like we want to push you guys out there. So yeah, it's like early on we were received well because you growing up in the Bay Area, like you already had a high standard for what a DJ did at that time. You know what I'm saying? So like we went all in teaching each other and just learning stuff because we all used to be in separate crews before that too. And so we took everything we learned from that, put it into one pot, made our own crew, and suddenly, like we had this fucking winning formula, and everybody took to us. Everyone started co-signing us. They were putting us on. Like we were doing shows at like 16, 17.
Yeah. There's always this disconnect though in turntablism with like actual club rocking and party rocking. How were you able to like kind of juggle both?
Well, we were still doing like house parties and stuff at that same time too. So turntablism was just a bonus element to what we were already doing.
But did you understand early on and like, yo, people don't want to hear this shit at a party? Like what we're doing?
No, because they wanted to hear that.
They wanted to hear
People don't want to hear this shit.
Because people were scratching on the radio. People were, cutting on MTV. Like they wanted to see that shit. They wanted to hear it.
So wait, when was the disconnect that you started saying where like when motherfuckers do not want to hear this?
After the early 2000s, once ITF fell under and once DMC stopped being what it was, like being as heralded as it was, that's when I started to see the disconnect. And that's sort of when turntablism went back to the underground. But then, once DJing, and social media started to become a thing, it's like, oh, suddenly people are starting to juggle again. But like we reverted back to like the early tricks.
Right.
It's like, oh, we learned how to do like chase juggles. It's like, motherfucker, like 5 years ago, A-Track was changing the game with, his B juggles, and we were seeing some of the most innovative things. Like we were seeing DJs turn their mixer into an analog synth by rewiring certain channels. And then once shit went back to the underground and came and resurfaced, it's like, how did we go back to the Stone Age?
They lost the recipes.
They lost the recipes, bro. Like, because a lot of the turntablists who were innovating that stuff started moving on to other things.
Yeah.
So I feel like that's sort of where the disconnect and reconnect happened, like from the early 2000s to like the mid-aughts.
But it's like the music started changing drastically.
Yes, and it
after
stopped,
like 96, you know what I mean?
Yes, and it stopped. Like the more the music progressed, the more it saw like turntablism saw less of a place in mainstream music.
Well, there started becoming a divide, right?
Yes,
because it was like jiggy hip hop versus like this like kind of backpack era that they were still trying to hold on to.
Yeah.
And then you still had some artists that were kind of juggling it, even to the 2000s.
Kanye. Kanye had A-Track as his tour DJ, and he was scratching on Stronger, things like that, where it was like a really rare case. But, for the most part, the turntablism culture had kind of become a lost civilization after that.
It's interesting because in the 2000s, there was this universe where like Talib Kweli could live. And then you could still have like all these like club bangers like 50 Cent or
Ja
you know what I'm saying? Or like all this, Ja Rule.
Yeah.
Like there was a time where it was like living together, and it seems like that doesn't exist anymore.
No, especially when trap music started to come into the picture. It started to become more segmented.
Well, it started like happening earlier on, right? When like all the snap, like Dirty South started entering the clubs a little bit for us.
Okay, I see that. Yeah,
You know,
like out
when the
in
South
East
started
Coast.
taking over a little bit more.
There
There wasn't like this openness to like all kinds. I was like on YouTube the other day and I saw like, I think something from 96. It was like Rap City, the top 10.
Yeah.
And the diversity was insane.
Yeah. It was like Mike Geronimo, 3-6 Mafia. Like,
Yeah, but it was so all over the place, and it was actually like really kind of beautiful. Like, like Crucial Conflict, was like number one.
Love that song.
crazy.
But then like America's Most was like number 3.
Sure.
You had all these different genres from Jay-Z, Ain't No, with Foxy.
Yeah. Yeah.
But then you also had like Lord Finesse at number 8.
Yeah.
With Actual Facts.
Right. Yeah.
So it was just like, it was so all over the place.
Yeah.
But like every fucking city had their own sound. and I think Outkast was in there. It was all over the place, and now it just sounds like everything.
Yeah, regionalism became such a huger thing in like the late 90s, early 2000s. And then from there, it just kind of like mishmashed again. And then
What's good, everyone? This is P-Dot from Reflections of a DJ, the R.O.A.D podcast. Whether you're just discovering the podcast or a day one listener, if you've been loving the content and want more, here's your chance to support the pod, get closer to the action, and unlock exclusive content by joining our Patreon. For just $5 a month, you can join our Tier 1 R.O.A.D subscription. This is for our loyal listeners who want early access to new episodes 3 to 4 weeks ahead, your name in the credits of every video episode, and access to our exclusive R.O.A.D edits pack. For the hardcore supporters, we've got our Tier 2 R.O.A.D for Life subscription for just $10 a month. This is the all-in package. You'll get everything from Tier 1, plus a monthly bonus episode, early access to our exclusive R.O.A.D 10 and R.O.A.D Talk interviews, behind-the-scenes content, our In the Crate series, along with unreleased projects. This is your chance to support the podcast and get more of the content that you love. Join the family today at patreon.com/R.O.A.D podcast. Check the link in our descriptions. We appreciate you, and let's keep this journey going.
And so a lot changed, yeah.
a lot changed, but it's crazy. And living in the Bay Area and DJing actively in the Bay Area in the Hyphy era also felt almost like it was a regional thing. It hadn't really spread out, past Vegas. Vegas was probably the furthest point it had gone at the time. But like it's still like it up until the Mustard era, Hyphy felt very regional.
It's interesting though. It's like Vegas has always had a connection to the Bay.
Yes, because of Franzen. When Franzen bounced from KMEL, because he was like a cultural linchpin in the DJ industry. And
shout out to Franzen.
Shout out to Franny.
I mean, he was on the radio when he was like 13 or 12, right?
Yeah. And so he brought that culture out here, and that's why it was also like well received when we got out here, because it was like, yo, like you guys had the ambassador out here come and kind of plant those seeds early on.
As soon as I moved here to Vegas in like late 2005, I had to get these records. Like I needed like Mac Dre, I needed like Too Short, I needed all these records that I didn't, you know what I'm saying?
And
like,
those records weren't easy to come by.
I mean, they weren't that bad. I think on vinyl, you mean?
Yeah.
Why do you say that?
Vinyl. Because like by that time, the DJs started to phase out, or like labels started to phase out pressing vinyl. A lot of these records were released independently, so they were just straight putting them on burnt CDs. But you could occasionally find a Mac Dre record. You could have occasionally find like a Balance record or something.
See, by that time it was full Serato.
Right.
It was fine. Yeah. I was just getting like literally folders and crates.
That too.
They're like, you need this shit. I'm like, I need AMG. What the fuck? I need to play this shit.
And
I didn't get it. They would be like all these white girls in Vegas, like, oh, I need to hear "Bitch Better Have My Money." I'm like, you want to hear this?
Wow. I love
like, y'all want to hear? And I was like, yeah, the Bay. I'm like, what the fuck is this connection?
Yeah.
And it was so obscure and odd to me coming from New York.
Yeah.
And I really did not get it.
Yeah.
Like, yo, you got to play Burn Rubber by Too Short. And I'm like, really?
Yeah.
And then you see the reaction, like, oh shit, I need this.
Yeah.
And then hence like the starting of the Bay Area crate and saying Bay Area on a mic in Vegas.
And then you switch to the Yay area.
Yep. Yeah. I mean, Vegas is still West Coast.
It is.
So
yeah. But it's interesting because in the 2000s, as prominent as Hyphy was in the Bay, I don't think a lot of people know that a lot of the clubs in the Bay didn't want to play Hyphy. It was like banned.
Yeah. I mean, like it came with like the whole dress code thing, like you couldn't show up to a club with a plain white t-shirt on. And it was because a lot of these, clubs were, they were trying to avoid quote unquote riffraff. Right, because his music was very like aggressive, and like a lot of the clubs that we would play growing up, like we were absolutely forbidden to play some of these things because it was like, we're not going for that thing here, we're not going for that image here, but if you want to play Kanye, cool, like at least there's like a touch of class to that,
Yeah, but it was like a riffraff.
Hyphy culture was very like looked down upon by people that were not in it. And especially like club owners, they're like, yo, like the whole Hyphy uniform was against the dress code. So
yeah, there was just like this connection between like a riffraff, energy, and it was almost like moshing and like it was like, we don't want people to wild out that much when you play Hyphy.
Yeah,
I remember, and San Jose specifically was anti Hyphy.
Yes,
like The difference between San Francisco and San Jose was completely different.
Yeah.
But it was like, I don't know what was the energy in the late 2000s, but it was like, if you play Hyphy, like Filipinos and Cambodians will fuck the club up.
Yes.
Come out of the woodwork.
The club will close.
Yes. Yeah. I mean, then that's
Where did I?
no.
So
where did
at
that
the height of like, tell me when to go, blow the whistle, all this shit, you couldn't play
You couldn't play it.
You could slip one or two in there, but if you went like a block of like 4 or 5 songs, then you're pushing it.
If you got 2 songs, you get a tap on the shoulder from a manager or the owner, let's get out of this.
Yeah. Yeah.
And as a DJ, it's hard because you see everyone.
and you want to chase it.
Yeah.
I got kicked out of a club for playing Burn Rubber,
Damn.
like early on.
Yeah. The biggest record at that time,
Was blow the whistle.
Blow the whistle, Burn Rubber.
Blow the Whistle was big, but like Tell Me When to Go was.
Tell me when
That
that was the flagship anthem.
And I would want to even say Super Hyphy was like the one. Like if you wanted to get it started, as soon as they heard that,
that's what you would follow it up with.
Yep.
Yeah.
it was
Couldn't
like
rap a lick of what
Then
Keep the
it
Sneaker
kinda
saying,
opened-
but
those doors opened up with Super Hyphy. They were like, oh, okay, now it's time to get like
Yeah,
Hyphy
like, you
on
going
this
there?
shit.
Oh, we're going
You're-
there.
that's the one that opens the floodgates.
Yeah.
And that's where it would be the point of no return.
And then the Mac Dre was like next. It was like almost you couldn't play Mac Dre. It
I was
anti-Mac
telling
Dre.
Right.
Cutso, I was like, I learned how to DJ in the Bay in 2005, and that was like the one thing you had to play, the whole Hyphy, the Grown Men On, all that shit at the time.
The whole battery.
Yeah. At the Federation, all that shit.
Yep.
But I'm like, how in the house party scene, that was the thing, and then at the club it's like none of that. I'm like,
Because
I
it
can't
was
imagine.
forbidden.
It was
forbidden.
and it was weird to me because in Vegas it was accepted.
Yeah.
It was like fine. You could I could literally do a 6-song Hyphy set, but in the Bay it was like. It was just during that time you would go to certain cities. Like I would go to Miami. They'd be like, no reggaeton. We don't want any reggaeton.
Yeah.
And we're playing reggaeton in Vegas and New York.
Right.
They're like, we don't want that shit here.
Yeah, because they see what that music, what kind of crowd that brings out.
But it doesn't make sense. It's almost like in DC when
Yeah.
they're like, you can't
No
play
go-go.
go-go.
You can't play go-go.
But it's
Yeah.
like they don't want to represent
It's so
their
weird.
regional
Yeah.
sound.
That's so crazy.
So
you
it was
know-
so odd to me.
But also at the same time too, it's kind of a good thing because it kept that regional sound on the street. You know what I'm saying? Which was for the better, I think, because if we were playing Hyphy at the bottle service clubs and they let us, that would have watered down Hyphy, right? But
Do you think so?
I think so because
Really?
that would have been a trend. Like, oh yeah, we want you because you're playing Hyphy, and then that would bring in all these artists who didn't know a thing about Hyphy suddenly doing Hyphy songs, right? So I think that for the better kept things like them keeping reggaeton out of Miami clubs at that time is the same thing as keeping Hyphy out of the club in the Bay Area. It kept it on the streets, and now we're profiting off of it, right? In some ways,
Almost like finally.
yeah.
It's interesting because the Bay Area sound felt like it was gate kept, but it wasn't gate kept.
It wasn't gate kept, but
It kind of it almost seems like no matter through thick and thin, through as many musical trends that hip hop goes through, the Bay Area always had its scene and the sound always pretty much stayed the same.
yeah.
Almost to the point where it's like it's the most authentic sound that hasn't been whitewashed
Right.
or corrupted in California.
Yeah. I mean, bro, like I play a monthly in Oakland. I live in Oakland now, but like I play a monthly in Oakland. If you go too far out, too long out of the 100 BPM range, the crowd gets restless. So like the 100 BPM range, of course, is the Hyphy BPM range. So that is very akin to Oakland still to this day.
It's like they don't want to hear anything 120 or 70.
Yeah, and like if they do, it's Afro beats, and that's like 108. That's barely pushing it. You know.
So
You still
wait,
have Hyphy
Afro
songs,
Beats
but-
on a Piano has a big place in
Oakland.
In Oakland,
Yeah,
really?
it's Afro beats, I'm a piano, Hyphy,
Damn, what that's
bro.
a crazy
Like
recipe.
that's it.
It's so interesting because it's not as prominent in other cities in California.
No.
I've never heard that before.
Yeah,
Wow.
like reggaeton barely flies in Oakland.
Really?
Yeah.
I don't know about that.
No,
Really?
barely.
Like Bad Bunny doesn't.
I
really
could
get-
play like 2-3 Bad Bunny songs, but that's it. I can't go like too deep into it. I can't play Daddy Yankee. Oh, I could play Gasolina, of course, but like I can't go into like Rao Alejandro or like Karol G because then it's like it's unfamiliar territory at that point.
Well, why is that? Is Oakland just like a stronger black Filipino community?
Stronger black community.
Black community.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
And then San Francisco is a little bit more
white.
It's a little bit more white.
It's also very diverse, but you know, house is a huge thing out there. Electronic music is a huge thing out there.
It was so big in the 2000s. There were like these huge clubs.
Yeah.
That they were like huge house clubs. I remember, rest in peace, Solomon.
Shout out Solomon.
Risk One.
Shout
out to both. There was such great DJs.
Yeah.
I remember going to the Bay and there were so many talented DJs, but there was a prominent house scene out there.
Yeah.
Where there were these huge clubs, and I forgot there was this huge after hours club that was open till very, very fucking late.
Yeah.
I forgot what the fuck it was called, but it looked like a bank or a church or something that was converted. Do you remember that?
I'm trying to remember exactly what
and it was
spot
like
that was.
right in downtown San Francisco.
Is it like
Yeah.
City Nights?
No, City Nights is that they're still around, surprisingly.
That looks like a bank.
Yeah, but that's like where the young kids go party.
Yeah.
But I mean, house is still very prominent in San Francisco, but it's a lot of like, you know, like it's a very bro-y scene, like a lot of crypto.
It changed.
I like to call it crypto house.
Crypto house is crazy.
Because it's like the most like it's house music, but there's not a lot of soul in it. You know, it's all energy, which is cool. Like there's a place and time for it, but like, like that's what San Francisco is known for.
It's like fist pump.
Yeah, it's fist pump.
Yeah.
It's basically fist pump.
It's a new version. It's a new era of fist pump.
Absolutely. And I do like it better because it's more akin to house music, and I could play, you know, traditional house music in a set of that. But in Oakland, miss them with the bro house. You drop one Fisher song, they're like, yo, what the fuck are you doing, dog?
So wait.
Where did you think you were?
break down the scenes right now. So San Francisco
is very centered around electronic dance music, whether that's EDM. It's mostly house now, and techno is back in a big way. And then you have like your spots like in the Mission that are like very like reggaeton. That R&B and Ribs is in the Mission. So it's like R&B and hip hop was kind of non-existent in San Francisco for like a good patch of time from like the 2012 to like 2019. It was kind of absent.
The only thing I heard about was the downstairs at Temple.
Right.
That was like the only place that had hip hop.
Yeah. And that was kind of like exiled from like the main, from everything else. You know what I'm saying? So,
and then there were like these like off, these clubs that were kind of scattered in San Francisco.
Yeah.
That were like probably, I would say predominantly Filipino hip hop parties.
Yes.
But they would close, or they would the club would close in 2 years or a year and a half.
Yeah. But also,
and then the party would just move around.
Yes. And also this was a time when a lot of people were getting priced out of San Francisco.
Right.
So most of the people that were able to afford to live in San Francisco past that point didn't like hip hop and R&B.
That was the biggest change I've ever seen happen to a city.
Yeah.
When like the tech companies invaded San Francisco,
yes,
and all the like property owners got greedy, and they kicked all the locals out.
Yep.
Like there were restaurants. I remember there used to be this 24-hour Indian restaurant, Naan and Curry.
Naan and Curry.
Every time you DJ'd, you went to Naan and Curry.
Yeah, that was like one of the meetup spots. And it was that or Lucky Chances.
Oh my God.
Shout
And
out
it was
Lucky
like, yo, we'd be ordering like chicken tikka masala, like chicken vindaloo, like aloo matar, like everything, just everyone meeting and just like grubbing. And then literally in a span of like 6 to 8 months, when they were like all this, like, yo, the tech companies are coming in, everything's, that shit closed.
Damn.
And then all of these other like venues closed.
We lost a lot of institutions.
All these like mom and pop, like all these restaurants, and then there's just like Chipotle and this Starbucks.
Yeah.
And then it was just like, it just became like a different, like I've never seen in a span of 2 years, a city just change.
Yeah.
And then the only like open format hip hop spot, I think Infusion closed.
Yep.
And then the only thing that existed
Temple.
was the downstairs at Temple.
Yeah.
Damn, man.
Which I have played many times.
Yeah. I've been there.
Yeah.
And what I love too about Temples, like the openers, I would walk in and still, as much as the music was like, hip hop, it was like the SoundCloud kind of like
Rappers.
Playlist era.
Yes.
Like, so if like Drake dropped something new, we had to play that weekend, right? It was like, and new music had to be in the club that same weekend.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I would go into the Bay, and I'd have to do Temple downstairs. And I would love it when the opener, I would go in like an hour and a half early and I would listen to the opener and like 60% of their set would be Bay Area songs that I'd never fucking heard of.
Yeah.
It was like early on, like, what is this Red Nose?
Yeah,
Like,
right.
What?
Yeah.
Who saged the Gemini?
Yeah, what's 100 grand? 100
HBK,
grand?
yeah.
Like, yo, 100 grand. What is this? I need this shit.
Yeah.
There was
Who's
like all
Plo?
this shit.
Yeah,
Who's Pilo?
Yeah, who's
Pilo.
Pilo?
Who's Plo?
That's why, like, and I would travel everywhere, and everyone was conforming to the universal sound of whatever hip hop was like supposed to be.
Yeah.
Except the Bay.
Yeah, because we always like Bay Area was, you know, the Hyphy and everything post Hyphy, I like to call it. It still spoke for us in the Bay. Like there were still disenfranchised communities in the Bay Area outside of San Francisco that, you know, this music would still speak to. And so that's why it remains so tried and true over these years. And you can get away with playing that exact same playlist 20 years later and it'll still go off.
If we could deep dive to the reasoning, because when I think of California, right, and like early 2010s, like there was a Mustard era.
Yeah.
There was this whole resurgence of YG, right? Mustard, Ty Dolla $ign.
Yeah.
Tiger.
You know, Tyga, like it was this huge LA run. Even Chris Brown, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, loyal.
And then there was this kind of like, all right, there's, you know, Kamaya,
Yeah.
a little like with it.
Like an intersect. Yeah.
There was
yeah.
an intersect, right? And I guess it had to do with Young California.
Young California.
Yeah. Yeah.
That was putting it
Shout out,
together,
amen.
right?
Yep.
Amen.
And there was
Yeah.
this big California push.
Yeah.
And it seems like I think LA kind of tried to keep going.
Yeah. Well, at that time, there was a bunch of Bay Area artists who were trying to find success, you know, outside the Bay Area. So their first stop would be LA. And so some of these artists, you know, found success down there, whether they're producers or rappers or singers or whatever. And this was around the time that like minimalism in LA rap started to take over versus, you know, everything before that was like Battle Cat, very like
Sample heavy.
very sample heavy, very
Soulful.
musical,
Yeah.
you know, and then once, you know, trap and like, you know, crunk and things like that kind of took the minimal approach. They saw what was happening in the Bay Area and seeing that you can make something really energetic out of something so minimal. And I think once, you know, coupled with the exodus of Bay Area artists moving to LA to find, you know, success, that kind of helped shape that Mustard era sound.
Was that like a definitive time when the Bay started accepting Bay Area music and artists into the clubs, or it was still a struggle?
It was still a struggle. It was still a struggle at that time. But actually, no, I feel like the Mustard stuff started to kind of like help wedge in some of the Bay Area
you
stuff,
couldn't
because you
get
couldn't
away
tell
from it.
you couldn't tell the
get
difference between it. You know, it's like, oh, this is a big record on the radio right now, but it sounds just like this Hyphy song, so I'm going to slip it in there with that, and we kind of snuck it into the club.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So once hip hop started to come back into the club circuit in the Bay Area, like, you know, we were mixing, you know, the Mustard stuff with the Hyphy, the old Hyphy stuff, because that's always tried and true. Like that will always speak to us no matter what. Like just the way old mob music from the Bay Area still speaks to us. You know, like Bay Area music will always speak to Bay Area natives. And I think Mustard completely, you know, robbing that style, and I'll say it.
Oh, let's
You know,
get to it, baby.
I'll say it.
Crooked, you have somebody on your side now.
No, but you know, like Mustard
Go ahead, Crooked.
completely robbing the Hyphy sound and making it mainstream. He'll you know, there was, you know, footage of him denying it. It's like, no, you can't deny it. But and thank you for doing that, you know. But I think that, like, you know, brought us back. That helped us sneak in our music into the club.
I've been kind of saying that the
GNX.
California sound right now is the Bay Area sound.
Yeah, absolutely.
And it's one of those things where, like, I think the line was a little blurred in the 2010s, but it's like strikingly obvious now to me
yeah,
that everyone is trying to adopt the Bay Area sound,
Bro.
coming from it doesn't matter where in California they're from, the drums to the rapping style.
Yeah.
Everything is translated from the Bay. And every time I've said this, like everyone from LA and the Bay is like, no.
I
It's
hate
always,
that.
we've always been unified. And I was like, I know y'all have always been unified.
We've never been
No,
unified.
no, we have
Never
not.
been unified.
No, we have not.
Let me tell you this, my LA motherfucker. We took that sound. We never had a sound. We didn't have
We
a
had a
sound.
sound.
You had a sound.
What are
We
you
had a
talking
sound
about?
to Dr. Dre.
You had
and then he
Quick.
stopped.
You had
Battle
I
Cat.
bet-
Battle Cat.
The same thing.
Even
And
quick.
Yes.
Yeah, Quick.
That's-
Quick had a sound.
Yeah.
But even like up to 50 Cent, we didn't
Up to the
have-
documentary.
yeah, documentary. That was the last thing.
Yeah.
We really didn't have no fucking sound, guys. And there's no artists. That's why we're bumping Dipset. That's why we were bumping No Limit shit because we didn't have anything in LA.
Yeah.
And then the Bay comes along and does Blow the Whistle and the Federation. All this great shit comes out of it.
Yeah.
And then in 2010, Ty Dolla teaches Mustard how to fucking use Ableton or whatever the
Yeah.
fuck. And now
I think it was Fruity Loops.
Fruity Loops.
Yeah.
And that gives a sound to the Mustard sound. But if you know, you know. LA motherfuckers didn't get along with the Bay Area people because of the Dodgers and the Giants.
Yeah.
We have eternal beef.
Among
But that's
other
what I'm saying,
reasons.
like, we stole that shit.
Well, that's the thing.
Stolen land- stolen
never-
valor.
Stolen valor.
Jamie, you realize you got to go back to LA, right?
Yes.
Like you got to
No, but
tone it down a
here's
little.
the thing. No, here's the thing. Bro, you gotta be aware of this shit. We didn't. We took that.
Yeah.
We took that, and then Shoreline Mafia also took it for
Yeah.
some time. Yes.
Yeah.
We took it.
And we never held it against LA.
No.
Because it helped bring our sound out there.
Yes, but if we gotta, we have to give the props where it's due. Like,
Sure.
we shouldn't be like, oh, we didn't take that. Like Mustard, yes, you did.
Yeah, he did.
Like,
He did.
Bro,
bro, Tooted and Booted did not sound like.
I saw you.
Yes, like seen that.
When you listen to GNX,
Yeah.
it is painfully obvious that is
Big hyphy
big-
energy.
That is
Big
I
hyphy
would say
energy.
I didn't say this before, but I realize it is a homage, right, to
Yeah.
the
It's a
Bay Area
homage,
sound.
Yeah.
He does
But-
it on the video.
Yeah.
But early on, I was like, this motherfucker's jacking the Bay Area sound.
Yeah.
Because
Yeah.
there isn't a relevant kind of sound for LA right now.
Right. Right.
When GNX dropped.
Yeah. Yeah.
I mean,
original sound. Cricket.
Huh?
We haven't had an original sound. Everything was.
I mean, like LA, like
LA was
underground
always
rap
based
now.
on funk and,
LA underground rap now is very like hyphy coded, like with the drums, the everything, just like the bounce of everything. It's very like 2006 like Bay Area music
Yes.
coded.
Yeah. And I love it. I love it, dude.
Yes.
It's kind of scary to say, but would you say that now in the last 2-3 years has the Bay been finally accepted into the nightlife scene to where it's like, okay, like we can play Bay Area music, we
Yeah.
can do these sets.
Yeah.
But it took like 20
was the
years.
took
tipping
20
point?
years, but
What was
yeah.
Is that the
tipping point?
scary fact or no?
Not at all. Not at all. Because here's the
20
thing.
years. It took fucking 30
Yeah,
years.
it took a
fucking
long
Too Short's
time.
been out.
Yeah, it took longer than 20. But, Bay Area has always just been like, we've had our own thing going on anyway. So welcome to the party.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? But, while y'all were doing this, we've been doing this. So fucking here's your late pass. But thanks. We appreciate the invite.
Have you ever said this to someone from LA, like a DJ from LA, and have they just been like, you're completely wrong?
No one's ever contested me on it.
Really?
I don't think
No one's
any,
ever contested
Because
me
you're
on
not
it.
wrong.
I don't think any self-respecting LA DJ would say.
Bro, I just
like,
I
anything
learned how
bad
to
about
DJ
that.
in the Bay. I had a cousin that lived in the Bay, and I got all the sauce from him because LA didn't have shit.
Yeah. Yeah.
The problem with LA nightlife is that it's completely in the Hollywood region.
Yes. Yeah.
And Hollywood somewhat controls it.
Yeah.
And Hollywood is not really connected to
No.
LA culture.
No.
I would say
it's not.
for bottle service, yes, but
Yeah.
like there was so many like parties like in like Long Beach or like other cities in like the LA area where you'd get like a lot of the Young California music, a lot of like your Sage the Geminis, your YGs, your like all of those like songs were being played, just not in like a Hollywood bottle service like context.
Yeah.
And like that's how you get people like Bella Fiasco, Butch, like
Yeah.
all those guys that are still working to this day and like still killing it. Like we had a scene, it just wasn't in like the national spotlight as far as like
Yeah.
bottle service went.
Yeah. It was all over the place. Like,
Yeah, like much like the Bay Area where like you had to kind of go outside of San Francisco to like experience the culture. Like LA is kind of built that way. At least it was back then.
Yeah. I'll say this too. Like I've drawn, plenty of inspiration from all kinds of facets of LA culture, whether it was music, artistry, like anything like that, everything but nightlife. Cause I'd never had a chance to play, a proper club in Hollywood unless it was like some weird like corporate gig or something. And so, but then, partying out in Santa Ana.
Yep.
Felt more like a community, felt like more concentrated, like you could find your pocket.
Yeah.
Cerritos, like OC, like, all those surrounding areas, but LA proper, Hollywood, never drew any kind of cultural influence from that scene. Nightlife.
I think a big part of it is like people from LA don't want to party there.
Right.
Yeah. So like there's a disconnect for like us, like being an LA native, like I don't really go there. It's like Times Square in New York, like no one really goes there.
That's a good analogy.
I don't want to discredit LA because they had a huge movement in the 2010s with like Greystone and like DJ Bad.
Even
Do-Over,
the Do-Over for sure.
which is like the Do-Over changed like
the day party.
Day party, formula. And then
Rest in peace, Reggae Pops.
normalized it, right?
Yeah.
But yeah, like LA has definitely had movements
For sure.
But I think right now, I would say maybe in the last, I don't know, right before the pandemic, I would say the Bay Area sound was really representing all of California.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
Agreed.
I would say that.
It still is.
Yeah. Because the two biggest regions were putting out the most music without LA and the Bay Area.
Yeah.
And those sounds were one and the same. So,
well, it's different now too. It's like in New York in the 2000s, as big as Tell Me When to Go was, if you played that in New York, everyone would stop dancing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Whereas like it's a little more normalized now.
Especially because you have folks that were moving from the Bay Area to like Brooklyn. And they have Bay Area themed parties in New York now,
I haven't seen
You
one
see
of those.
that?
Stuff.
Yeah.
I haven't seen that yet, but I do see a lot of like California, West Coast, like hip hop R&B parties that are wildly successful in fucking New York though, and Brooklyn and stuff. Yeah,
exactly.
They're killing it.
Exactly. Because a lot of those folks are moving from the Bay Area to Brooklyn.
I got a question. So like we're describing LA. We've kind of deep dive into San Francisco and a little bit of Oakland. So tell me a little bit more about San Jose, because my encounters with like nightlife in San Jose was like, you're going to DJ at your own risk.
Yeah.
It was like,
What does that mean? What does that mean?
it was just kind of like, there was this one club, and for the life of me, I forgot the name, but you know the name of this club.
Okay.
They had the most viral fight scene that lasted like 20 minutes. Do you remember this? They had like a video of these like Cambodians beating the shit out.
Was that Glow or like Wet or one of those?
It was wet.
Wet.
It was wet.
It was wet.
Wet. Yeah.
I remember going to wet.
What a name.
Yeah.
Crazy name, by the way. This is
And it was like
20 minutes wet.
20 minutes at wet.
no, like if you go to YouTube and you do like Wet Nightclub San Jose and you do like, I don't know, like a fight or like a club fight.
Yeah.
Stiletto in the cheek?
Yo, yeah. So
Wait, what? Wait, say it
Yeah.
on the mic. Wait, go ahead.
Is that the one with the homegirl getting stabbed with a stiletto in the cheek?
I don't know if it was on camera like that.
crazy.
So
Yeah.
it was the same
Was that
club.
the second part of the fucking fight?
Funny story about now, and this might be going on a tangent, but to speak to your story, what happened was there was a fight outside of, and I don't remember if it was Glow or Wet at this time, but it was definitely the last iteration of that particular building being a nightclub, because the last thing that happened there was someone had gotten into a fight. This woman had gotten stomped out with a stiletto going through her cheek, and they didn't call the ambulance. They called a cab to not attract negative attention.
Yeah.
So the club got sued, and that building from that day forward was a rock climbing gym.
That
What a
was
switch.
the end of Wet.
That was the end of that.
Yeah.
Yes. That was the end of Wet or Glow or whatever the fuck it
It
was.
became dry.
But yeah, yeah, because now it's just rock climbing and shit.
But that
right?
was
So-
the biggest club in San Jose at a certain point, right?
one of
the biggest clubs.
Yeah, there was also Studio 8.
Studio 8. Okay,
Yeah,
okay.
Which was a really big room, but none of us played there because we were like, fuck the owner.
Yeah, so if I had to paint a picture, like I would fly in from Vegas, I would get to San Jose,
Okay.
and there would be like literally like cops everywhere just waiting for some shit to pop off
Like
outside of
25
the club.
cop cars down the street.
Yeah. And they would be waiting for some shit to pop off.
Yeah.
Damn.
And
Yeah.
I would get picked up by security. They would, when I was entering the clubs, there was a 5-man security team walking me in.
Damn.
So it was like they were surrounding me.
It's like Prince is here.
So automatically, like when I walked in, everyone was like, "Who is this person? This person's important."
Yeah.
And then, but when you get into the club, you realize, oh shit, this is why they need security, because it was like the room was like, it was just, you didn't know what the fuck could pop off if you.
The energy was hot because there were people coming from other areas, like surrounding areas like Watsonville, Stockton, just all these other,
Stockton.
all these other surrounding cities would come to San Jose because it was the biggest city with that would let us play hip hop in clubs. Because San Francisco, they weren't letting us do that in San Francisco too much. Oakland was, Oakland was just always Oakland, but like people would come to San Jose because that's where they would fucking get their Grown Man on and fucking hear some hip hop in the club. But like that's also what made the streets really hot because there was a lot of out of towners trying to pop shit. And like to this day, San Jose is very hot. Like there's been like a string of shootings in San Jose. Like,
yeah, but why is it? What is it about San Jose,
bro? Okay, and here's the thing, man. I don't want to down talk my hometown because I am born, bred East Side San Jose till I fucking die, right? But here's the thing, man. So San Jose has a really deep gang culture, right? Much like LA, much like any other area. But San Jose has always had this attitude of the big city that could. Had the little city, one of the biggest cities in California, but we had this small town mentality where like, yo, we're here too, man. San Jose is here too. Y'all need to start recognizing us. And so it coupled with, our sort of like deep trauma from gang culture. San Jose has always had this, I wish a motherfucker would tonight kind of attitude where it was like, I don't want to fight tonight, but if shit pops off, I'm fucking ready. And this you can boil this down to the way people drive in San Jose. You could boil this down to the way people act when they're out at just like at Costco, bro. Like San Jose,
buying eggs.
Yeah, in San Jose, it's crazy ironic how it's like one of the best cities to raise a family, one of the worst cities to be a single person, one of the worst cities to go party. Like it's kind of crazy because like I feel like there's this chip on the shoulder of San Jose and people who are born and raised in San Jose. Like, yo, like I grew up in this fucking crazy gang culture. Even if you didn't grow up in like, a family that had gang members in it, you had this like, oh, I'm from East Side San Jose. Shit is rough.
Yeah.
It's like, please, dog, you're from Evergreen, dog. Like, let's not bullshit.
You from Evergreen?
I mean, I think Oakland always had this reputation of being like a don't fuck around city.
Yeah.
They're like, yo, we're just out here to have a good time. Don't fuck with us. We won't fuck with you.
So
right?
like I remember my first connection with the Bay was Sake One.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
shout out Sake. Shout out to Sake. He was like one of the few motherfuckers that would come to New York for like the R.O.A.D with DJ 11 and Ayers and Cosmo.
That was one of my bucket list gigs, man.
So and then Sake One was like the G, and I would have conversations about the Bay, and he's like, yeah, Oakland is like kind of like maybe the mecca for all of hip hop in the Bay.
Yeah.
And then San Francisco is like kind of like Manhattan.
Yes.
For the Bay.
Yes. And
then San Jose, I was like, well, what's San Jose? And
Staten Island.
I didn't realize what San Jose was till I went there.
Yeah.
But it's more like Asians wilding the fuck out, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
It's like Asian. It's just like
Asians and Mexicans.
It's like that's when I really would like, oh shit, I didn't know there's Asian gangs out here.
Yeah.
And I didn't know like Cambodians were crazy.
Yeah.
Yeah, like doing all that shit.
Pick which Asian gang. We're all crazy.
I might be misspeaking about the Cambodians.
Yes, you are.
No. Cambodians are crazy.
Yeah.
I don't know if it's Cambodians or Vietnamese or
they're crazy too.
Yeah,
all the jungle.
We're all crazy.
all the jungle Asians are crazy.
We're all crazy.
Oh
yeah.
God,
all the jungle Asians are crazy.
Yeah.
There's a lot of shit. There's a lot of shit being talked about South Koreans, and I didn't say that about about
the jungle Asians said the jungle Asians are crazy. It's okay.
The jungle Asians.
Yeah. Now you want to talk about a chip on your shoulder? Talk to a jungle Asian in San Jose.
Oh my god.
Damn.
But that's always been like, yo, like everyone would say, be careful. Like I would go to like San Francisco everywhere, but it was like, yo, you going to San Jose? Yo, be careful, fam.
Yeah.
Everyone used to say that shit. And I remember at Wet, I had one set. Well, I had a few sets that I would do out there, but always I would play one Hyphy song, and then the owner would come up and be like, yo, get out of this.
Yeah.
And he would force me to do these EDM sets.
Yeah.
Just to break it up.
But yo, the crowd was just looking at me like, why are you playing this shit?
Yeah. Yeah.
And I would be like, let me give him a little something.
Yeah.
And then all of a sudden it was like, yo, get out of this. And it was like this fucking battle all the time.
Yeah. Because they knew the shit was going to pop off if he went too deep into the hip hop pocket.
Yeah. And I think there was one night he was like, yo, you can kind of do it because there's all these tables that want it.
Yeah.
And then I did like 3 songs, and yo, without fail, 2 tables started fighting.
Yeah. Yeah.
And then it was like, oh, it's EDM for the rest of the night.
Yeah.
After that,
You gonna get this level.
Yeah.
Out of
Yeah.
me, motherfucker.
And you know what's kind of a sad thing that's kind of beautiful now? There wasn't really a primetime R&B set that you could kind of get the girls
Yeah.
into at that time.
Yeah. Yeah.
Which
yeah.
is kind of beautiful now. You can kind of like
Yeah.
go from trap and then be like, all right, it's getting a little crazy.
It's a vibe neutralizer.
Yeah. Let me get everyone
Slow
singing for a
jams like
second.
Kanye's coming up.
Yeah.
Yeah, but it was like very different. I remember the cops fucking hated that club.
Yeah.
They wanted to shut it down.
Yeah. That's where they would stand.
Yeah.
They would stand in front of that club.
They were just waiting for some shit to happen. And they knew like the head of security, I don't know I forgot his name, but he was like more than just the head of security. He was like doing, I don't know what the fuck he was
He
doing.
was doing something.
Yeah.
I happened to be in his car and we got pulled over and we got fucking searched. It was crazy. It was like maybe 5 blocks away from the club.
Yeah.
I had my shirt off and I was cuffed and I was like sitting on the street, like on the street
No way.
with no shirt, my bag, my laptop, everything spread from my backpack.
How'd your shirt come off?
They
Yeah,
told me to
for
take
real.
off my shirt because they said, let me see your gang tattoo.
Oh, wow.
And I was like,
That
yo.
was a fucking wall.
And I was like, yo, I'm from New York. I don't have no tattoos.
Yeah,
like,
yeah.
And they're like, we don't trust you. They were like, take off your pants. They looked at my thighs.
Wow.
damn,
They
bro.
looked at- and I'm looking at security like, this is what's happening when I spin here now.
Yeah.
Like this is security was like looking at me like, yo, I'm sorry, man.
Yeah.
But it was almost like they were waiting to like just shut these motherfuckers down.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
And they were,
Weekly shakedown.
Yeah. Yeah.
they were going through my bag. They're like,
Sound like
I used to
Howard.
carry mixed CDs. They're like, oh shit. This
He's
is
a
yours?
rapper?
They're like, this is yours? And I'd be like, yeah. They're like, can I the cops are like, can I take one? I'm like, yeah, motherfucker, yeah. take one.
$10.
It's like, can you loosen these?
Can you listen? Can I get my
And they're
shirt
like
back?
looking at the vinyl. Yo, what's this? So you actually are a DJ? I'm like, yeah. What the fuck do you think?
Been trying to tell you.
And then meanwhile, all these people from the club are looking like, yo, that's the DJ.
I would never come back.
And I'm over here, like my hat off. I'm like, yo, man, what the fuck? With no shirt. I was just like, yo, what the fuck? And it was fucking cold because it's the Bay.
Yeah.
Then that was when I learned, like, this San Jose is just different.
It's different.
But the energy is different now, right?
Yes and no.
Yes and
He
no.
said
Yes and no.
Because I
Yes
feel
and
like
no.
in the last maybe more than 5 years,
Yeah.
right? Even a little bit pre-pandemic,
Yeah.
but more so after the pandemic, there's been this kind of resurgence in San Jose,
Yeah.
in nightlife.
Yeah.
right?
Like the youth want to while out. Like, and
Right.
and there's still people coming from out of town, you know, trying to pop shit. And I think just like, I'll say this much right now too, like one of my monthly residencies in San Jose doesn't exist anymore because a fight happened outside of it that didn't even originate in the club I was playing at. It came from another club and found its way and ended in front of the club I was playing. So they fucking caught the heat for it. There was also some inner politics shit, but like we won't get into that. But San Jose right now is kind of hot just because there's been a lot of like, especially like after the Super Bowl, there was a couple shootings. Like 7 people got shot, 2 of them died.
Damn.
What?
A week after that, someone pulled out a gun inside of a club and started firing off. And then, yeah, it's been hot for the last few
So
weeks.
there was a good time after the pandemic when San Jose was bubbling because there was a lack of venues and parties in San Francisco and Oakland. So everyone was going to San Jose.
Yeah, yeah. And
So
this was also when like the craft cocktail thing started to come about, and like there were new places in San Jose.
Right.
And
I know a shout to Justin SP2.
Yeah, shout out Justin.
Like, and then R.O.A.D had, he was killing it.
Yeah.
And there was all these dope parties. There was all these different like events
Yep.
where they were showcasing like kind of like this new kind of reformed
DJ
like,
scene.
unified Bay Area scene of
Yeah.
Oakland, like San Francisco, San Jose, people coming together and like people were trading gigs.
Yep.
Like San Jose DJs were in San Francisco.
Shout
San
out
Francisco,
Rec Room.
Rec Room,
Shout out
right.
R.I.P.
Yeah.
But then something happened in the last 2 years or something where it just kind of like San Jose just kind of like took a turn, right?
Yeah.
Because it looked really promising.
Yeah.
I was almost a little jealous.
Yeah.
Because I was like, wow, like the Bay is like having a moment right now with R&B and Ribs, Rec Room, R.O.A.D, Miles Medina's party, SB2. There was like this movement that was going on. And it seems like it's just now taking a little bit of an odd turn, or no?
Economic shift, man.
Right.
You know, we're falling victim to this crazy economic shift, and there are some new venues opening up in San Jose, but a lot of the ones that we were playing at are either closing or changing format, or, you know, that's only left us with a couple things. So now it's like you have the same 25 DJs trying to play the same like fucking 3-4 spots, and that is also kind of like, I don't know. It's kind of poisoning the club scene in a way down there, because now you have the same DJs playing the same shit at the same venues, and there's even less venues to play all that shit now. But, you know, you have, you know, your SB2s that have like special events with, you know, world-class DJs like yourselves. And
Thanks.
You know, like adding some variety to the mix, but everything else in San Jose, they're like trying to stay with the tried and true, you know, and
that's where you play Bad Bunny.
That's what you play Bad Bunny. Yeah. Reggaeton, like if you're going to play in San Jose at all, make sure your reggaeton bag is fucking loaded, because that accounts for at least 60% of what you're going to be playing in your set.
Damn.
Yeah.
It's
unless you're at SB2 where there's a more of an Asian heavy crowd, then you could get away with more. But in San Jose and most of these venues, your reggaeton bag has to be at least 60%.
Yeah.
So what's your favorite scene right now in the Bay that's popping on?
Oh man.
I mean, you just did like this mega Super Bowl party with R&B and Ribs, right?
Yeah.
Which was crazy.
It depends on the day, man. There's days where I love San Francisco because I'll be playing like, I don't know, like Let's Play House or something. Shout out to J-Jax. Those, you know, or playing R&B and Ribs, you know, shout out to Nopa. But then there's days where I like, you know, I'll play, I play a gay bar in Oakland once a month. And it's like one of the most fun parties I DJ on a regular. And there's some nights where I'm just like, I love Oakland. This is so great. It's been a minute since I've been in San Jose and said, I love my hometown. This is the shit. When I play San Jose now, I'm just like, cool. All right.
Let's get homesick.
Really?
It's a check.
Let's get homesick.
Yeah, it's a check. Let me go see my parents real quick. You know?
Really? But it's just kind of like, I feel like there's so much potential.
There is a lot of potential. There always is potential. And every, you know, renaissances work in waves, right? Where like, you know, certain cities will have its time. San Jose, I don't think it's not San Jose's time right now. It was
like a year and a half ago.
It was, yes.
It was like beautiful.
Yeah, it was great. It was gorgeous.
And shout out to Arcade, what he was doing at Rec Room. I thought that was really amazing. Right?
Rec Room was fun. SB2 was fun.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? There was this place I was playing at called San Pedro Social, which was mad fun. And now I have more fun doing small places in San Francisco or small places in Oakland, or even like doing R&B and Ribs, like thousands of people. Like, it's been a minute since I've enjoyed playing in San Jose.
Yeah.
No shade to my hometown, but it's not San Jose's time right now. The DJs, though, I will say, I mean, there's DJs coming out of San Jose.
Top tier.
They're fucking killing it. It's just San Jose as a locale. Mm-hmm. It's not its time right now.
I do feel like the Bay has always been kind of like the most accepting to remixes and edits.
Yes.
In open format.
Yeah.
More so we're like, like a lot of edits, a lot of things that I, like early on in the 2010s, I'm like, I'm from that New York, play the original shit.
Yeah.
But like the Bay has always been open to like different edits.
With the exception of Oakland. With the exception of Oakland, you can only play so many edits before everyone's just like, dog, just let the OG play. Like, what are you doing? Like,
right. But and like you said, Oakland is typically more a black crowd, right?
Yeah.
And they want to hear the originals.
They want to hear their joint.
Right.
As they know it, you know? So,
but like San Francisco, obviously with that house scene, they're a little bit more open to like a new disco
they
or disco
want to hear
house
the
scene.
remix.
They want to hear the edits.
Yeah, they want to hear it beefed up.
And then San Jose is just open to all edits.
San Jose is, we'll take what we can get.
Yeah.
We're just happy to be here.
But you're known for a lot of edits, right? You were on like...
There was a long time where I was making so many edits and people were like, oh yeah, I got your shit from... I didn't know any of these motherfuckers were posting my shit. And there was a couple pools where like, you know, they actually hit me up. They're like, hey man, can we like, you know, post some of your edits on our site?
Yeah.
And I'll be like, yeah, can I get like a trial subscription?
No.
Dead silence.
Damn. Wow.
Yeah.
But you continue your Patreon, right?
I continue my Patreon. I had my Bandcamp popping for a long time, still popping. SoundCloud, like people are just like, you know, other DJs just, you know, handing my stuff off, and which I love. But I had a problem with these pools posting this shit because they were profiting off of it.
Yeah.
But you're actively producing, right?
Yeah.
And so what is accumulating a lot of your time? Is it edits, remixes? I know you've worked and done collaboration with like even artists like Lyrics Born and stuff like that.
Yeah. As of right now, I'm spending a lot of time just doing blends for my radio show on Rock the Bells, Culture Shock. So the premise of the show is bridging classic rap with new rap. So I don't have to make every blend that I play on my mix show because I have a lot of homies. Like shout out to like DJ Bizon, shout out to Trey, shout out to Ross Hogg and King Most and Record Noise. Like all those guys, like they give me blends on the regular because they do the same kind of stuff I do. And so I will try to make at least 5 or 6 new blends for every episode. And that ends up going on my Patreon. So that's been taking a lot of my time lately. This is just making fodder for my mix show.
Yeah.
And every now and then, and this has always been my policy, like when I make remixes, I don't just shit out remixes. Like I see a lot of motherfuckers just shitting out remixes just to stay relevant. I only made remixes if something really spoke to me and I felt like, yo, this needs to be flipped. I'll flip it this way and I'm going to put that out. I never felt the gun to my head like, yo, I need to put these motherfuckers out. Like, I need to shit these things out. Like, that was never my policy.
But that sounds wildly productive to have a radio show and all the edits you create. You're monetizing on the side with the Patreon as well.
Yeah.
How long have you been doing that now?
So my Patreon's been, I lost my job last March. The day I lost my job, the day after I started my Patreon.
What job is this?
I was working some bullshit contract job. I was, trying to go tech, and
I mean, you're in San Jose, so it makes sense to do that.
Yeah, exactly. But
that's interesting. So you were juggling like part-time work or full-time work?
Full-time work and DJing.
That's a lot.
Yeah.
Have you always been doing that?
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah.
That's insane.
Yeah.
Do you do it now?
No, I'm full time now, so I'm running the school and I'm DJing.
So after like 30 plus years in the DJ game, from all spectrums, from producing to DJing clubs to turntablists to battles, to teaching, you've been juggling a full time job at the same time.
Yeah, there are periods where I was DJing full time, but most of my adult life I had a day job on top of what I was doing.
Wow.
Yeah.
What are the benefits to that? Because it sounds overwhelming.
Being more selective about gigs you take. Like you don't have to take every gig that comes your way just to make ends meet.
Yeah.
And just having a separation from what you do, like keeping your creative outlet, and not letting that be your job, because that's how you get burnout, right? So being, that I had to work a day job, I would look forward to the minute I could turn my DJ laptop on and start making some edits. Versus like, yo, I got to wake up in the morning. Right. I got to work on this batch of edits. I got to work on this. I got to work. Right now, it's great because like I'm doing stuff for my school, and then I'm doing stuff for my radio show, and then I'm doing stuff for like the few select DJ gigs that I do take. And then once I make these tools for myself, it's like, okay, I can release them to the world. Y'all can have them. These are, and that's always been part of my policy too. It's like I don't make these for anybody but myself. And if you find these useful, great. And I just so happen to find, a lot of DJs find my stuff useful in some capacity or another. So that's like always, and my ultimate goal in what I do as a DJ, as a producer, as an artist, as a creative is not play for the masses. Like I want to speak to my audience. I want to discover my audience, whether that's 500, 5,000 people, because that's what makes my work more meaningful. I'm not just doing it just to shit things out. A lot of cats are out here shitting things out just to stay relevant.
Do you feel like you're more productive with your time?
Yeah. Because and I think the feeling of productivity comes with the satisfaction of being productive, but also just knowing that having the satisfaction of doing something you want to do, not because I have to do it. And in that sense, because it's still my creative outlet, I tend to be more productive with my time because it's like, yo, I'm going to do this, I'm going to work on this, and I'm going to finish this, see this to the end. And that's my work for the day.
If you don't mind me asking, what was your specialty at your full-time job with tech? Like, was it...
I was a personality hire.
Oh, no way. Are you serious?
I was a personality hire through and through, bro.
Is that what it is? Are you being serious?
I'm being serious.
Really?
Yeah. I was the fun guy at the fucking work.
That's a real thing?
I mean, I did my job. I was good at.
But he was a fun guy.
I was good at.
Are you
doing the work.
downplaying your role at these full-time jobs a little bit?
I was a contract worker, so I was bottom of the totem pole. So I was doing all the work that they, every day I would have to do a different job.
But what did you get? Like full medical? You had like a good medical.
Yeah.
And then what you got to eat at work? What?
Yeah.
You
Free
had
lunch.
meals?
Yeah, I was working for Google at one point, man. I worked for a lot of. I worked for Google. I worked for Pandora. I worked for the California welfare system. I worked for the Pennsylvania welfare system
shit.
at one point.
Why do you say that your personality higher? You think it's painfully obvious?
Yeah, I think I was the fun guy in the fucking team chat that would crack the jokes and
I didn't know that was a thing.
Yeah. You
is.
never. Yeah.
This is like Silicon Valley, like
Yeah.
It's like a TV show.
Yeah,
it is.
We got Cutso.
This
fun
guy, this guy's here for morale.
Damn.
But now the tech world's completely different. You feel like they don't value the personality higher anymore now.
Nah, man, because everyone's gonna fucking be taken over by robots.
He knows
So
something.
that whole era.
So if you can find a robot with personality
It's over.
as someone who has hair like this,
Stop.
you know what I'm saying?
Your hair is outstanding, by the way.
Thank you, man.
I don't know if I've said it enough.
I appreciate that,
Chef's
man.
kiss.
I should have put it in the intro, goddammit.
Thank
Yes.
you, man.
I think that is some of the best hair I've ever seen in the DJ game.
Damn, dude. This ain't even a good hair day for me either.
I would put it up there with like Mark Ronson hair.
Wow.
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
I think you and Mark Ronson like top
Rockton
5.
has a good head.
Yeah, he's good. He's a good hair inspo for sure.
Yeah.
Like I was just
Ross
watching
one,
him.
yeah, for sure.
Ross one too. Yeah.
Yeah. You're up there, bro.
Stretch Armstrong has a good head of gray hair too, man.
It's the Silver
that's not
Fox is
bad
out here.
Yeah,
man.
Silver Foxy, man. Yo, we're the gang right now, bro.
Definitely killing. So you don't want to re-enter the tech scene anymore. You're
I mean, if the bag is good and I'm playing a role that I'm actually, like sought after to play, then yeah dude. Like, if I'm gonna be a creative consultant for some kind of tech company, then cool, I'll take that job. But right now, I'm not dying to find my place in the game in the tech world right now.
but the culture, the work culture right now is completely different. It's like completely changed in the last year.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah, I
man.
think a lot of people are on edge. A lot of my tech friends are on edge right now because they don't know what day they're going to lose their job. It's not a matter of, if, it's a matter of when.
And that's what's ultimately affecting nightlife in the Bay.
Yeah. Yeah, absolutely. Because most of the only people who have money are people who work in tech jobs. You know what I'm saying?
Now it's really like a rough time.
It's a rough time right now.
It's almost like 10 years after the fact of the tech, like
Boom.
the tech company takeover in SF in the Bay. And now it's like you're seeing like the results of another era coming on.
We're seeing a fallout in the horizon right now, bro.
Wow.
God damn.
Yeah, it's grim.
Hopefully what do you think? Do you think there's a positive outlook that people will start becoming, there will be more like people moving back into San Francisco? Rent will go down, certain things will change, or you don't think so?
I would hope that the Bay Area becomes more of the cultural hub it used to be. Especially like places like San Francisco, where it was a lot of artists living there. It will never get back to that point at this stage.
Wow.
But to know that a lot of my tech friends who have been laid off recently just started leaning into their art and craft more.
Right.
It's like the smallest drop in the bucket, but just to see as the tech industry in San Francisco and the Bay Area is taking new directions and people are losing their jobs. I also see a swell of humanity coming back. Like people are tapping into creative things again. Like they're tapping into small businesses. Like they're starting small businesses. I was even talking to the homies about this last week. I was like, I was thinking about going back to school and maybe learning how to do auto. So I can, once all this DJ shit is done, I know how to fix a car.
You think
know what I'm
you
saying?
think it's done? It's going to be done soon, DJ?
I mean, my time is limited. My days are numbered for sure. But, I don't want to do this shit forever. I definitely want to work music and DJing in some capacity. I know in the next 10 years, I don't want to be in a fucking club. But I do, if that means I could teach the next generation of students to be that are ready to be in clubs, then I'm good with that.
Right.
That's why I started this in the first place. Cause it's not only am I trying to pay back to the game that gave so much to me, but I want to instill the foundations of DJing. And it's not like you have to go out there and fucking beat juggle. I'm not teaching you to fucking do turntablism so you can do it in the club. But like, yo, like, if you have a better understanding for music, then this art form has a better chance of surviving.
So with 20 years of like teaching DJs, the way you initiated in the 2000s was you just kind of being open and like kind of just being like, yo, let me show you some shit.
Yeah, well,
if you
so
want to get started.
Yeah, so shout out Nick No, one of the guys in our crew in Bangers. He got this opportunity, him and Golden Child, they had this opportunity to start teaching DJ lessons at a music school. And it was just like, like a small venture. Like we want to, like we have violin classes, we have guitar classes. We want to do a turntable class. And so that was like my earliest experience in teaching turntablism. In fact, I just ran into my first scratch student from like 1999, 2000 the other day. Wow. He was interviewing me for his radio show.
That's crazy.
And he's like, I'm still in this because of you, bro. And I was like, holy fuck.
Give me the job.
How many students do you think you've accumulated in this time?
From beginning to now?
Yeah.
I'd say 100.
Wow.
Yeah. Because I also taught after school programs with a hip hop nonprofit organization in San Jose. So I was doing after school programs. I was teaching scratch classes there. I was teaching with another music school for a while, for like maybe like 4 years. And then there was a long patch of time where I didn't teach, but I was teaching people who are now active in the DJ scene. Like, I don't want to name names because I don't want to, toot horns or nothing like that. But like, there was a lot of people coming into our house. Like, I want to learn how to do this. I want to learn how to,
Right.
And I taught a lot of people that are out there working right now.
Yeah. I mean, it's evident. Like, I swear every time I meet a DJ, they learn something from you.
Yeah, man. It's a blessing, dude. Cause for them to put their trust in me is already a blessing. But like, I don't want to, brag, but I have stripes, Doug. Like I've done everything, and I still continue to do a lot of things in the DJ culture.
Right.
And yeah, I see a lot of people starting DJ schools, and it's cool. Everyone has something to teach, but like, do you want to learn karate from a blue belt, or do you want to learn karate from a fucking black belt that's trained in 10 different disciplines, bro? Yo,
all right.
You know what I'm saying?
Let them nuts hang, bro.
Yo,
shit.
A 10th degree black belt who can also do Muay Thai and fucking MMA and can shoot a fucking gun. Like,
my God.
Dog.
I didn't know you had a background in MMA too.
Bro, so I used to do martial arts in my teenage years, man. And like I started off because I wanted to do Kung Fu because I was fucking way into Wu-Tang, right? I was like, I'm gonna do Kung Fu.
It took a hip hop group from Staten Island to get you into Kung Fu.
Yeah, well,
I
was doing
hip hop group.
I was doing Taekwondo when I was a kid, like a lot of us were, right?
Yeah.
But like when the martial arts school I went to, they're like, cool, we're going to start you off in Shaolin Kung Fu, but you're also going to learn grappling. You're going to learn.
You actually learned Shaolin Kung Fu?
I learned Shaolin Kung Fu. I learned weapons.
Have you not seen his videos with nunchucks? These are legendary clips, bro.
Yeah. And I didn't even learn that from school. I learned that from watching Bruce Lee movies.
That's crazy.
Dog, like I learned Muay Thai. I learned Wing Chun. I learned all kinds of shit. My physical form isn't evident of all that now. But like if you were to see me on the street and we only had this much room to fight, you're fucking dying.
Wow.
Yeah, I kind of want to stand in my corner.
I love this.
It's a quotable.
I love this.
Dog.
If we're 6 inches apart, you're fucked.
Yeah.
2 feet though.
Yeah, you might have an advantage. Wait, these knees ain't what they used to be. You know what I mean? But,
so right now, 2026, when you're approaching your work week,
yeah,
how many days and how many hours is dedicated to this, to teaching, to production? Because you're in town with the bangers. We got the bangers in the building.
Yep.
Finger bangers in the building.
Yep. Shout out Weezy. Shout out Golden.
And you guys are here to check in on the Jabberwocky show.
Yeah. Oh, I was just here to kick it.
Yeah.
I was just here to kick it with Golden Child. And
Happy belated birthday.
Yeah. Happy belated birthday.
Yeah, happy belated.
And then Weezy, I told Weezy I was going to Vegas for the weekend. He's like, I want to go too. So we just came to kick it. Like, and it just so happened that, we haven't seen the new Jabberwocky show yet. We worked on it earlier last year and it debuted in October? Yeah, and so we haven't seen it yet. So this was our first time getting to see our work, you know.
That's great.
And every time there's a new Jabberwocky show, we always come to like the red carpet preview and things like that, friends and family, but I didn't get to come this time. So this was my time to come check out the show. And yeah, but mostly I was just here to eat and chill. And we did a lot of that.
Yeah. So how do you organize your week?
My work week looks like this. So Monday, Tuesday, Wednesdays, I have group classes at 7 p.m. at my loft in Oakland.
This is teaching DJ.
Teaching DJing. And in between those, I have a few one-on-one students scattered throughout those days. And so I'm spending most of those days getting ready for that. So putting out a lesson plan, kind of watching, because I do a lot of progress videos. Whenever we do lessons, I shoot videos of all my students doing their thing.
Oh, wow.
And I'll take notes and be like, okay, this needs to be worked on. We need to work on this. And you have show you guys this.
And you have like a curriculum you've probably fine-tuned for the past few decades, right?
Yeah. So a lot of it is based on my experiences, right? And just like stuff I've taught in the past,
right.
New things that I have to teach now that were like, before I started doing First Wave, I hadn't taught anybody digitally, like, formal lesson. It's like, all right, this is how you do this. This is how you do this. But I never actually wrote out a curriculum like, okay, today's lesson is troubleshooting. Today's next week's lesson is, like navigating your playlists and, organizing your crates and things like that. And then, so I'll spend the first 3 days of my week, getting ready for the class, teaching, and then Thursday is my radio day. So I work on my radio show, which gets submitted Thursday night. So I spend most of the day working on some more remixes for it, putting together the mix, hosting it, and then shooting it out to the station.
How many hours to put that mix together?
I'm
assuming it's an hour mix.
It's an hour mix, so it usually takes me about 2 hours to do the whole mix. But then, sometimes I'll spend the days before that making 1 or 2 blends, so that I don't have to do it all on Thursday.
So it's a live recording though.
So it's not a live record. So I will record the mix like I'll live mix 3 song blocks. And then go back and overdub, just so I'm not working on a whole ass mix and then fuck up at the end and have to start it over.
Wow.
So I'll do I'll mix 3 songs live, go back, overdub that, mix the next 3 songs live, come back. And that also leaves me room to, squeeze things in that I didn't originally plan on doing.
Yeah.
And then I go back, once that's all recorded, I do my talk breaks, I move all my drops around, and then I shoot it out.
So unlike radio, because when you were doing radio, it was almost the same thing.
It was the exact same thing.
Exact same thing.
Yeah,
except they gave you a list of songs that you had to incorporate in the mix, or no?
No, because at 94.9 we were on at midnight. So past midnight they stopped rating. So they gave us the keys to the house and they're like, just don't burn the place.
Oh wow! So for 10 years when you were doing that show, you were just, what were you playing? What was your focus for your hour?
So we had a 2-hour show every Saturday night. Shout out to Truth Live and DJ Q. That's Rebel Pop Radio, which is still on. We centered it around DJ and dance culture. So what are the sounds that we're hearing in the clubs right now? So one person would cover, like Truth Live would cover like more of the pop end of things. Q would cover more of like the house remixes and, dance remixes of, things. And I would cover more of like what was going on, like more underground stuff. So like the K-Tronada stuff, more of the hip hop stuff, just everything else that, wasn't up-tempo dance music, like past 120 BPM. Like
right.
I never went past 120 BPM on my segment because it was just like, oh, y'all didn't cover this, I'm covering all this. And so it was like, like regional sounds, more underground club sounds, and yeah, like sometimes classic hip hop shit.
But now it's like more classic hip hop, more hip hop based now.
My show now, yes.
For Rock the Bells.
For Rock the Bells, it's so it's a fusion of classic hip hop and modern hip hop.
Is it harder to like mix in newer hip hop now?
Well, the thing is, for what I have to do, it has to be a mashup. So it's like, this Baby Keem song over this fucking Eric B. and Rakim beat. So it's like I can't just arbitrarily put acapellas over instrumentals and hope it works. Like I have to like make sure that the shit actually sounds natural. It doesn't sound forced. You know what I'm saying? So a lot of it is just me like kind of like pre-mapping these things on the decks, on the turntables. And if it works, then I'll make an actual edit out of it. And then that will be the edit that I mix in the show.
Like, to me, making a mix every week sounds like the most exhausting thing I could ever do.
Yes and no.
Yeah.
Yes and no, because it keeps you sharp.
It does keep you sharp.
But also, like, you know, again, shout out to some of the homies that contribute blends to the show on the regular basis, man. Like, they help out a lot, and it keeps me, you know, updated to shit that I otherwise didn't hear, like, you know. So it keeps me in my comfort zone with classic hip hop, but it also opens me up to all the newer stuff, because I, you know, if someone sends me a blend of a song I've never heard before, I have to go and listen to the original just for context.
Right.
And that just opened me up to a new song or a new artist that I didn't otherwise know about. And so I love this opportunity because I get to flex my remix skills, my, you know, production skills, my DJ skills, my mix skills, and my hosting skills. But it also, you know, keeps me up. It keeps me afloat and, you know, up to date with new rap.
Wow. So that takes up your whole Thursday.
That's my whole Thursday.
And
but then I'll work on things sporadically throughout the week.
Right.
Yeah.
And then Friday, Saturday, Sunday,
Gigs.
just all gigs, nonstop,
Or chilling.
I
chill hard these days. Just like you're not seeing me in a fight 6 inches away, you're not seeing me in a chill contest either. I chill hard. I guarantee that.
I love downtime. I don't get a lot of it,
But when you do,
I do. I love downtime, and I actually appreciate getting sick.
Yeah. Okay. And that's a really weird way of putting it. But yes, sometimes I'll be like, yo, like, I see everyone catching the flu. When I catch the flu, dog, I'm going to watch these shows. I'm going to fucking cook this shit. But I'm built like an iron
love
horse,
getting
bro.
sick because it's kind of like, it's your body telling you kind of like, we need.
slow it down.
You're furloughed. You're furloughed into rest.
Yeah, we need to like.
If you're not going to do it, I'm going to do it.
We need to take a break.
Yeah.
We need to start eating right.
Yep.
And you kind of like reset everything.
Yeah.
And I love just like texting or emailing someone like,
because otherwise
I'm sick and I'll get this to you next week. They can't say anything because I'm usually like really on top of shit.
Yeah.
But they're like, oh yeah. No rush.
Yeah. And also, and that probably has to do a lot with the fact that because you don't have a lot of downtime that you allow yourself, there's guilt. That's guilt. There's guilt that's associated with taking downtime for yourself.
Yes.
You know what I'm saying? It's like, I should be doing something. I should be busy. Why are my hands not busy? You know what I'm saying?
We all got 24 hours and
we got
the same 24.
Bro, and that's and you know what? And you know, I get hustle and grind culture, dude, but like, I'm at a point in my life right now, dude. I'm about to turn 45 later this year, bro. And
you look great, man.
Thank you, man. Thanks, man. You know, Filipinos, man, founding youth, baby. Karaoke keeps us young.
Founding.
No, but just, you know, like, having my downtime now is very valuable because I'm also very, you know, just I like finding inspiration in other other places and other sources. I'm a frustrated designer. I have like a small clothing brand called Cutty Mart that I occasionally will drop something on.
Nice.
Yes.
And that's, you know, just an extension of what I do musically. You know, like I value my family time. Like, I go visit my folks in San Jose. Like, I enjoy, you know, going out to see my students play and getting inspiration from them, seeing what, you know, people are reacting to outside of what I do.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Because I'm always just relegated to my spaces. So when I get to go see people their spaces, then you get, you know, that's that research and development. You know, so I really, especially these days, man, I really like value my downtime, and I will be as regimented about how I spend my downtime as I do my work time.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
It seems like you've accumulated so many different like skills, but it's like almost like hobby based, but it turns into like something you can kind of monetize.
Yeah, because it's, bro, like, I've been an artist all my life, and I come from an artistic family, and just being inspired by so many things and finding inspiration in everything throughout my whole life, dog. Like I like when Woo Wear came out, I was like, I want to start a clothing brand. You know, and then like later on in life, I was like, oh, it's not that hard to make t-shirts. Yo, I'm going to start coming out with some. And that held me down during the pandemic. Like I came out with Cuddy Mart, and like it was just like really like weird references to like pop culture that only a few people understood. But it's like, yo, you're not gonna find shit like this like unless you make it yourself. And that's always been my approach to life. Is like, yo, you want anything done, do that shit yourself.
Yeah.
But it's also like, you know, like I grew up listening to a lot of like, you know, punk and rock and things like that. And so like, you know, there was a DIY approach to everything. And the same thing goes with hip hop. Everything was super DIY when we were coming up. So it's like you make the most out of what little you have. And I started applying that to different things like designing clothing, for doing my own flyers, like, you know, things like that. Like I've always wanted to be a designer, but, you know, never had like the personal, like the actual like professional, like, you know, classes or anything like that, or the professional discipline of learning design.
Right.
So I would just learn shit on my own, the same way I taught myself how to use an MPC, the way I taught myself how to use turntables. Like I took that approach to everything that I want to do in life, and that I would always find a way to make that, you know, keep the lights on.
Well, even at, you know, at your age and having so much experience in so many different, you know, departments and avenues, in DJing to production, music, to everything, your perspective has always been from a student, like to just keep learning.
Yeah.
And what I've learned over the years, it's like, I remember like if you had downtime, or let's say they're like a venue closed.
Yeah.
Or like, you know, the scene started to slow down. There was an anxiety when we were younger that used to build up. And you're like, I need to do something. I need to go out. Or I need to like, go back to the old venue and like take half of my pay and like DJ again.
Yeah.
Whereas as you get older, you're kind of like, all right, there's some downtime. You've been through like the ups and downs. You're like, this is a downtime. What am I going to do during this downtime?
Yeah.
Like, what am I going to build? What am I going to focus on? And then what do I need to be ready for when it goes back up?
Yeah.
Kind of, right?
Yeah. And that's sort of like,
there's a calmness that we understand when things kind of like when things slow down.
Yeah.
Whereas I notice with other DJs who just know how to DJ, they get frantic.
yeah, because they don't have something to fall back on.
They just are like, all I know is DJing and I don't know what else to do. And I just need to get gigs and I just need to focus on this thing. And then this desperation, this energy of desperation and anxiety overcomes them.
Yeah. Like just, you know, growing up as a child of hardworking parents, immigrant parents, like, you know, there was always this need to like stay busy and like, you know, stay, you know, keeping the bills paid, but also like, you know, not killing yourself doing it. So just being a naturally creative person is like, you know, like everything I do, even DJing, is like I just work hard enough at what I'm good at in hopes that'll open doors for other things. And I don't know what that is. I don't know what the future holds, but I'm hoping that, you know, DJ education, amateur clothing design, like will open doors for something that I truly love to do.
Yeah.
And I'm actually in the process of building a portfolio of all this shit that I've done. Like, and it's not, you know, like none of this stuff is like professionally, like, you know, commissioned work or anything like that. It's like, these are just the flyers I made for my own parties because I thought the flyers they gave me were fucking whack. These are the t-shirts I made because I wanted to fucking rock this band on a t-shirt, because no one else was making their official merch was fucking trash. You know, just things like that, just making a portfolio of all my creative stuff. Like I did a short film for the Grammy Museum a couple years ago for their hip hop exhibit. And it was a video, it was just a walkthrough of how I work on a remix. And like I made this remix of Jane Child, Don't Want to Fall in Love. And I just basically I did this video of just the process of like where that started from, what inspired it, and how it became a piece of like making a record out of many records. That was sort of like the premise of the video. And they ended up putting that in the Grammy Museum. So
that's crazy.
Yeah. And so I'm trying to wrangle up all these little side projects that I've been commissioned to do, just, you know, for funsies, man. Like just because of, you know, like I work with what I got.
It's interesting, like, especially now in this day and age, like, what is your relationship right now with DJing?
With DJing, I'm starting to kind of look at things from an introspective angle. Like, man, I feel like I've done it all. And I think education is sort of like the next phase of that, you know? And like, I'm finding a lot of happiness in just being able to teach a new generation of DJs. Like, you know, not the right way to DJ, but how I came up and how I've been able to, you know, be in this game for so long and what kept me in this game for so long. And so, you know, being able to pass those jewels along is like really, really gratifying for me. And so I'm starting to kind of look at the DJ thing as like kind of like almost like I'm about to start riding off into the sunset soon. Like I kind of want to retire soon.
It's just, I mean, don't say that, right? Are you comfortable with retiring from DJ?
I mean, you know, I'll probably take selective gigs here and there.
Yeah.
You know, I'll probably be DJing all my life to some capacity.
Yeah.
Right? You know what I'm saying? But like, you know, like just the week to week hustle of like trying to book gigs and things like that. Like I'm starting to really tip my hat towards that.
Do you think you've moved past the self-serving aspect
Absolutely.
of DJing? That's what it's kind of you're moving forward from. It's kind of, I feel like there was this era of DJing that I was like, I had to stake my claim to being one of the best.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
And it's like I had to rep for my city, or I had to have this reputation of like, whenever I'm in this room, I have to kill it. Everyone has to know I can still kill it.
Yeah. And then
like,
they have to know me by name at the end of the night.
Well, it's kind of one of those things.
Yeah.
It's like I still, you know, but it's very self-serving. And when I see some of the like older gen, the OGs that I look up to, and they still have that energy, I'm like, man, I don't know if I want that energy in my 50s.
No.
You know, like,
yeah. And
and I think it's kind of sad.
it's very sad.
You know, and it's kind of like,
Yeah, because it's like, yeah, they're still trying to find their place in the game. You know?
it's like they don't even look at the younger gen as peers or like the next gen. They look them as like the ops.
Yeah,
that's my
absolutely.
competition.
Yeah,
yo, you 26, I'ma smash you.
Yeah,
and then you're like, yo,
you coming after my spot? You coming after my spot? Like,
and it's like, yo, like that's a horrible outlook, and it's a horrible way to approach your career. That everyone is competition.
That's how you crash and burn, bro.
Yeah,
but and you say self-serving, and I say self-serving in a context where self-serving means making sure that what I do makes me happy in the end. Like not what I think, you know, is expected of me. I want, you know, I'm coming to the point now where I'll only DJ if I know it's going to make me happy.
The thing is, like, ego is such an important element of DJing.
Yes.
Like you need that ego to go into a room, even when you're deathly nervous.
Yeah.
And you don't think you can kill the room.
Yeah.
You cannot appear like you have any of that disbelief.
Yeah.
You can't carry any of that energy.
Yeah, exactly.
So when you walk in, you have to look unfazed.
Yeah.
You have to appear unfazed.
Yeah.
You have to,
you're like walking into a fucking boxing match, right?
And that ego becomes like your identity to a certain degree.
Yeah.
And it also becomes a crutch, right?
Yes.
Because you need to hold on to that. The ego is like setting the bar high for you.
Yes. Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
Because it's like, I have to be the best. I have to be at my best all the time.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
And what I mean with self-serving is that are we still DJing and are we still doing these rooms because we want to do it, or is it because of our ego won't let it go,
right,
and won't let us go?
Yeah.
Do you know what I'm saying?
Yeah, absolutely.
Where it's like you see some of these DJs and like they don't. This motherfucker doesn't need to do this room anymore.
Yeah.
You know, it's or like or maybe as often.
Yeah.
You know, and it's one of those things where it's like, when do you know when to kind of take a step back and like reevaluate your career and be like, I've just had these conversations where I'm like, wow, I've done these kind of parties in these rooms for like 25 years.
Yeah.
Do I need to keep doing it for another 10?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Or like, do I need to shift and find something else?
Yeah,
I feel like I always say this, I've been like a whore prostitute for like, you know, like bottle service clubs.
Yeah.
Like majority of my career.
Yeah.
And I can't like let it go, but I don't know if I'm like still on it because I like still enjoy it.
Yeah.
Or if it's ego.
Right.
Where it's like, I still need to be able to like.
Or is it necessity?
For me, it's like, I talk with like MoMA, Ross One, and like, there's a fear of not knowing how to do a high energy open format room. So you always want to have that skill. And what happens when you lose that skill?
Yeah, you get left behind. You get this fear of getting left behind.
You never want to have that feeling of walking in the room and be like, I don't know any of these songs.
Yeah.
Or like, what is this song? This is what they're listening to now?
Yeah.
Or this is the trend?
Yeah.
Like you always want to stay on the trend.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah, but this is also where like I have a lot of like inner conflict with myself.
Right. Is
because like now what's flying as open format is a lot of the shit that I always thought was corny as fuck. And I've always like as from the beginning of my existence, I've always been like, there's a certain line I will not cross. you know. And
Can you expand on that?
just, you know, there's certain songs like, you know, like Last Friday Night, like, yeah, people will drop that in the middle of a set, and like they're kind of like, you know, and I've always been afraid of that becoming my identity. Like, oh, this guy plays like weird, like fucking poppy shit that is totally corny, but it works. But I see a lot of my DJ peers like really excel from that lane. But that's never been me, because I've always been a music snob. I worked at record stores and I become a music snob, and like, there's always that line I will not cross. And I know that, you know, bending a certain way will not make me happy, and that I'll be doing it for the wrong reason. And before it was like, oh, I don't want to be known for that. But now it's like, I'm just not doing that because it doesn't make me happy. And that's what I mean by introspective. And this introspective phase of my life is like, I'm only doing this because it makes me happy, and I'm not going to bend any way that doesn't allow me to do that. And that's why, like, when I go and watch, like, you know, big open format rooms, like people other than myself DJing, sometimes I'll be like, damn, like my days might be numbered, because all this corny shit's really getting a reaction, and I will not play that stuff. So maybe I'm coming to the sunset phase of my career in that regard, which is fine, because, you know, I got everything I wanted out of it. And now from this, you know, from this era forward, I really just am doing this because it makes me happy, and I want to be able to stick to doing the things that makes me happy. And it's not even about like, I want to be known for this. I want to be known as this guy. Like, no, like I am up here DJing for you tonight because I want to.
I always see DJing as like serving the crowd.
Yes.
And the one thing I didn't want to happen was for me to serve a crowd that I hate.
Yes. Yeah. Bingo.
Right?
Bingo. Yeah.
And it's kind of like, you battle through that right now.
Yeah.
Because I'll be in a room and I'll be serving them. I'll take the requests. And usually there's an understanding with the crowd, like, oh, like this DJ is really like kind of like feeding us all this music, and we're like enjoying it. So like we trust. There's a trust that would have been established after 2 hours. But I'm noticing that the crowd does not even acknowledge that anymore.
No, you're basically service staff at this point, you know?
Yeah. I'm almost like a bathroom attendant.
Yes. Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
And it's kind of one of those things where
I was going to say bar back, but
no, I mean,
you're more like you want mints, you want cologne, you want a little bit of this.
You want a cigarette, young man?
Yeah, but the request for like cologne or mints or anything is like, you have Bad Bunny?
Yeah.
And it's like, there is no acknowledgement of the work that you've been doing.
Like,
it's just
like dragging all this shit into the bathroom.
Well, this is your job, right?
Yeah.
Isn't that what you do?
Yeah.
So like, give me Bad Bunny now.
Yeah.
It's like kind of like that. Whereas before it was like, oh my God,
we're seeing this guy.
We're like connected.
Yeah.
Like you're playing all this shit that I want to hear, and it's like I don't even have to think about it. But it's just like, oh yeah, you played all I wanted to hear. So why don't you keep playing what I want to hear?
Yeah.
That's the energy I'm getting now. And I'm just kind of like,
we're service staff, you know?
Yeah. And I'm just like, get the fuck away from me.
Yeah.
I've literally been telling people like, get the fuck away from me.
Yeah. But you know, you have control over like, you know, whether you are present in those rooms or not, you know?
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
And that's where I'm thinking
that's where like selectivity comes in.
Is it ego or is it this? Because then it's like the manager tells me at the end of the night, like, yo, we haven't stayed open till 4 a.m. in like 4 months.
Yeah. Yeah.
And it's like, oh shit, like,
you're
kind of like, I can't believe I'm still able to keep a room.
Yeah.
After 25 plus years.
Yeah.
But then it's like, do I need to be doing this? But then there's still a business for it.
Yeah.
And it's what people like, it's still like you build this reputation of like, oh, we're going to have a big weekend. It's like, let's get this DJ because they're going to make it even bigger, or they're going to sustain like sales.
Yeah.
And they're going to keep people there.
Yeah.
And it's one of those things where it's like people come up, they're like, yo, we're going to stay open an hour later now.
Yeah.
Can you do another hour? We'll compensate.
Yeah.
Whereas I haven't had that happen in like 15 years.
Yeah. Yeah.
But it's happening now. And I don't know if it's because the next generation just does not care to keep a room. It's like, because they're not serving it, or they can't think outside of like, you know.
Well, they haven't had the experience to do that.
They don't have the repertoire to do it.
They don't have the stripes. They don't have the experience. They don't have the repertoire. All of that.
Yeah.
Like they right now are riding on their idea of DJing and what they've learned in the last few years from what they've, you know,
in 60-second clips.
Yeah, in 60-second clips, man. Like, you know, and you know, cats like us, like we came up holding down 4 or 5 hour shifts.
Like the rush I always chased was holding down a night and like having a great night, not having a moment.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like, I think the attention and the feeling you get from being in a room and playing a room, and you have, you know, the crowd like in your fingers, and having that sustained for hours on end, is a completely different feeling than like, oh, I have a viral moment online and a bunch of people that I'll never meet are like liking my post or whatever. And like,
or I just killed it for an hour.
Yeah. And like this new generation only sees that and only knows that and doesn't really have the respect for like, oh, this is what a good night DJing feels like.
Yeah.
It's
like we set the tone early on. To the very end. And it's like, you know, when we were doing these like 4 or 5 hour gigs, it's like, cool, I'm ready to take y'all on a ride. Now it's like, I have an hour. Let's see which one of these 5 people who have an hour set can get you the hypest.
And the thing is, it's not like, in all fairness to like the younger generation, this isn't something you can teach. This is really something about just like staying in the game.
You have to be there.
I mean, I won't be able to have like probably a realistic conversation about this until they've had another 10, 15 years in, and then we could like discuss that more.
Absolutely.
And deep dive into it.
And I was mentioning this earlier. There was somebody like when you guys posted the clip of, you know, us, you know, talking about red flags in DJs, somebody posted a comment saying, yo, why are you asking all the unks these questions? It's like, motherfucker, because we got the experience. Like, we seen the tide change. Like, we were the guys that were setting up the room for 4 or 5 hours to, you know, where we are now, where we only get booked for like an hour or two.
It's interesting because a DJ will come up and there would be like a musical trend or scene emerging, you know? So like, for example, like maybe even now, like you said, techno. There's like a UK garage also, right? Like kind of emerging, two-step, that's kind of coming out. There could be a DJ that's kind of in that scene, almost similar to like the Afro House scene. If I was an Afro House DJ, or if I was like doing events, this would be my time to capitalize on the Afro House scene. The thing is, when that scene shifts,
where are they at?
It's like, how do you like kind of adapt and pivot at that moment and kind of grow from there? Because some DJs just kind of fall out there and then they blame the scene, right? Well, no one wants fucking like, yo, the scene changed, like fuck it, like but it's like we've been through 8 of those or more. And it's like,
and we're still here.
And we're still here, but it's just one of those things where it's like, I've seen all of these scenes come through, in and out, you know, pass through. And we become a part of it, and we have those crates that are ready for it. And we notice when it emerges or when we start hearing certain like production, instrumentation, or like, oh, this is coming back. And, you know?
And there's like this whole discourse going around right now where it's like, oh, open format DJs don't see success because they're all over the place. The people who are really seeing the true success are people who, you know, pinch down on one genre or one specialty. It's like, yeah, cool for the moment, but once that fucking trend is out, where are they going to be at? We're going back to the open format DJs who've been holding it down for fucking 20 years. You know what I'm saying?
It's funny because it's like you can either be the leader of a scene or like a musical movement. But then it's like you get a blowback when you don't continue that movement, even when you want to grow out of it.
Right. Because, you know, whatever, you know, niche that they, you know, really like concentrated on ends up becoming passe. And then what, you know?
Well, it's like this inevitable thing. Once you get typecasted into a scene, you have to kind of like adapt. But people don't know to adapt. They think like that shit's going to go on forever.
Right.
So for you right now in your moment, the gigs that you want to do, what would be the ideal gig for you? Because for me, I'm still like attaching myself to whatever gigs that I can perform for. Meaning that if you like, if someone was like, yo, I want to see Crooked DJ, you might catch me on a night that's completely top 40. Or it could be all K-pop.
Right.
Or it could be like Latin tech house with like reggaeton, perreo, and a sprinkling of hip hop. Or it could just be R&B and hip hop. Like there's so many different events that I don't even think I have like an identity musically. You know what I mean?
Yeah, but they know that you're good at all these different things, so you get called out for all these different
but
events.
I still get people that come in, they're like, oh, you doing like this top 40 shit tonight.
Right. And that's why I'm thankful for being, you know, like an open format DJ this whole time with, you know, really wild musical taste because like, there'll be certain, and to answer your question, it really depends on the day, like you ask me like, what's your zone right now? Well, today's Friday. I'm in a new wave goth zone. You know what I'm saying? So I started this party with my homegirl Tittabite out in Hawaii. Shout out to Tittabite. We had this party called Tears in Paradise where we're playing, we're playing, new wave, goth wave, like, indie sleaze, all the stuff that we can't play at like hip hop clubs, more of like the rough edge stuff. And it started as a vehicle to grieve both of our brothers who passed away, who helped us get into this kind of music, but also like this is an outlet for us because we're so relegated to having to play club music all the time that we wanted an outlet to play the other stuff that we wanted to play, like Depeche Mode or like Ed Banger or anything like that, or things like that. But like and I would rather play for small rooms of people that get it rather than a big room of people who I'm only pleasing small pockets of from time to time throughout the night. And so it depends on what day you ask me, like, what's your zone right now? Hey, next week, I'm going to be in a freestyle zone. I'm playing for, a bunch of like 30 plus year olds in San Jose who want to hear just freestyle. Like that's next week. And the week after, I'm back in Oakland playing Hyphy, and that's the beauty of it, man. Cause it's like I don't have to play big rooms to feel, like validated or satisfied with what I do. Like if I can get a small room of a few people that really get it, that's even more gratifying for me.
Is that where your headspace is at right now?
Yes.
Right? Yeah. Is there a genre or a music scene that you particularly love in right now? Because it's kind of like, I know you're doing the hip hop radio show.
Yeah.
But do you this is the first year in my life where I don't feel as connected to hip hop.
Yeah. I feel bored playing hip hop in clubs.
Yeah.
Cause it's like, that's our day in, day out. Like, even if we're having to play like other club stuff, it's all rooted in hip hop and R&B. Right, because that's sort of like where our sort of like
even
foundation
the new
is.
albums like that I'm listening to.
Yeah,
I feel like 10 years ago, this new Cole album.
Yeah,
I would have maybe appreciated it. I would have like enjoyed it more.
Yeah,
but now it just seems like
I don't care for albums that much. It's like, oh, there was a few bangers on this album. That's good. It wasn't like back then where I was like, yo, this album is going to be fucking dope when it drops.
From top to bottom.
You know what I'm saying? Like I'm anticipating the release of this particular artist's album. Now it's like, oh, this artist dropped an album. How many songs are good on there? 5? Wow, that's a pretty good number. Cool. We'll call that a good album. You know what I mean?
Yeah. So what are you connecting to right now that you want to spin?
Oh man. Again, that's a bad question to ask me just because again, like, it depends on the day.
Like Tuesday would be one thing, Wednesday's another thing.
It depends on the day, man. And like, like right now I love playing house.
Yeah.
Because I was never really given an opportunity to play house. I was never the guy that people knew as a house guy. But I would always play in my open format sets. There would always be a house zone that I would get into in my, in my nightly club sets. But getting the opportunity to play like a concentrated 2-hour house set now, it feels like a release for me. So, and that's got me going back to exploring all the old classic house that I grew up with. And all the stuff that I learned how to play house, and like how that, find the intersect between classic house and new house.
Yeah.
And trying to work that into a set where like, everyone is here to listen to like, really amped up bro house. But if I get to inject like some, like some really classic joints and people still get that same energy from it, then cool, I did my job, So I think right now, like I love playing house gigs and I wish I would get more of them.
I think one of my dreams right now would be to set up like a kind of venue or party where like seasoned veteran DJs can like kind of go into the room and just like play whatever they want.
Let your nuts hang, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And just kind of like
dealer's choice.
Yeah, it's just kind of like there is no set theme.
Yeah.
There's only the DJ is just going to take you on a journey, but it requires the DJ, like that room or that party has to be that DJ spinning for like 4 to 5 hours.
Yes.
And from beginning to end.
Yes.
But I would love to do it back to back where it's like either me and you or you and like another seasoned vet, like just together and figuring out the room together.
Yeah.
And then like kind of going off of each other's rhythm. And then all of a sudden we could be on like, I don't know, like Miami based remixes. And then all of a sudden you want to go into something else. And I'm like, oh, okay, we're going to do that.
Right.
Let's do that.
Yeah.
And if the crowd's into it, It's kind of like let's go into it.
Yeah.
There's this concept where I think like OG DJs, veteran DJs, like 20 years, at least 20 years in,
Yeah.
can kind of come to and approach this DJ shit in a more open way where the crowd is kind of like there to experience something completely different.
Yeah. Yeah.
You know?
I would love that. And I actually thought about that recently. It's like starting a night where like, you know, giving the like a dealer's choice sort of thing. I was like, yo, I know this DJ can hold the room down for 4 hours. And I want to give this DJ like the freedom to like really take that 4 hours wherever they want to, because they already have, you know, the trust of the people and, you know, people who are just stepping into it and stumbling upon it, you know, they'll be able to kind of pick up on that. Like, oh, like we're going on a journey tonight.
Yeah.
And, you know, and not every DJ can do that. Right.
Wow.
So there's like a select few that can really do that, and it would be really awesome. I thought of the same idea recently, where it's like I would love to do a dealer's choice type of night where it's like it doesn't have to be a big ass room; it could be a small room, but like giving certain DJs the freedom to like really like push the musical boundaries, you know, and just kind of show people out there who, you know, either go for one product or another. Like, yo, there's so much more under the sun that, you know, your favorite R&B DJ knows about. Go experience that with this person.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? So that would be fucking live. I would love that, because I would be, you know, my shit would be, we would be going on some serious journeys, bro, in the span of 4 hours.
Yo, Cutso, so I know we're hitting the 2 hour mark.
Okay.
But like, we'd love to have you come back, you know,
Man.
and just like shoot the shit again.
I mean, there's so much more to talk about, I'm sure, you know?
No,
Like,
for 100%.
yeah, man.
Yeah. But yeah, if there's anything you want to plug, like your Bandcamp, your Patreon. and
Yeah.
stuff.
I'm on Bandcamp, I'm on SoundCloud, I'm on Patreon, all at Cutso. You can find me on Instagram at Cutso.
And you have great, like these soulful edits, right? You're known for like these amazing, like you're really a tastemaker. And there isn't like a lot of tastemakers.
Man, it's really, I like, again, like everything I do for myself in hopes that other people will get down with it. That's just a way to find my audience.
Yeah.
So
can we include like maybe a crate of some of your favorite edits?
oh, dude,
for our
absolutely.
Patreon, for
yeah,
our
that'd
Patreon
be,
members?
yeah, absolutely. That'd be great.
That'd be dope.
Yeah, man, for sure.
Yeah.
I'll slide some of my Culture Shock stuff
Yeah.
in there too.
And then you also have your First Wave School.
First Wave Preservation Society based in Oakland, California. I also do remote lessons, so find us on Instagram at First Wave Preservation Society, wave without an E, so it's FIRSTWAV.
Nice.
And then before we get out of here, I couldn't have you be on this podcast without me saying that I'm here because of you, in a way, because you helped start downtown nightlife in like this iteration of it.
Man,
Oh,
When
no.
you
that's so crazy, dude.
yeah, when you were at Insert Coins, you were probably like one of the first residents, right?
yeah.
And
In Vegas,
in
yeah.
Vegas, that place was crazy. There was such an ill concept of like get yourself a bottle, get a section, get your like favorite video game console and have it there. And it just showed me like a different part of nightlife. And I don't think that downtown Las Vegas would be what it is and what it's become without like you, Cricket, Charlie,
Man.
like having that start like that block, and it's still continuing to this day. I wouldn't have my
That's
my way out here without you.
I appreciate
So,
that.
Thank you.
That means a lot, because you're running shit right now. And
Well, specifically in the downtown Las Vegas
Yeah.
area too. Yeah.
Fremont Street.
Yeah.
yo, because here's the thing: when I was living out here in Vegas at that time, it's because I couldn't get very many gigs on the Strip. You know, it was very like, you know, political. It was very grandfathered in.
Yeah.
And so I was just getting like, you know, casino gigs here and there. But like, you know, shout out to Cricket, who took me in, you know, in this weird period of my life where I was like, I don't know if I want to live in LA. I don't want to live in the Bay. I don't know if I want to live in Vegas. She's like, come live with me and I'll get you in this place called Insert Coins. So shout out to the downtown Vegas mayor, Cricket,
To this day.
to this day, who really, I just, over the years, I've seen shape the downtown scene. Like, with just her influence, man. Cricket is such a major player out here that people don't really give enough credit to. And to see, you know, folks like you, like P-Dot, like you're, you know, booking, you know, all the spots in downtown on, you know, on Fremont Street, and like, you know, We All Scream, Commonwealth, like, bro, like to see you holding the reins now is really dope, man, because it's like I was just telling Weez and Dom this the other day where I was like, when I was starting out here, I was just trying to find a place to play, but I'm seeing all the people who, I was seeing trying to like get in running shit now.
Hey, man.
You know what I'm saying? So
thank you for opening the doors.
Man, and it's so crazy for you to hear you say that, because I was just I was an orphan just looking for a fucking home.
Wow. I didn't know you were in the Vegas scene like that.
Exactly, dog.
What years were you in Vegas?
I was here 2011 to 2013, 14.
Oh,
he was Technicolor's roommate.
Yeah. I was roommates with Technicolor. I was roommates with Cricket and Technicolor at one point. I was a shopper at New.
Oh wow! In my clothing store.
Yeah.
That was a tough era for open format.
It really was.
Yeah.
That's why I was in downtown. That's why I couldn't get a gig on the Strip,
because that was the EDM boom.
Yeah.
And that's when like
it's strictly forbidden.
That's when LMFAO and like everyone, like all the fucking Dutch house was just taking over everything, and the main rooms. Hip hop really moved to the side rooms at that time. So you came right at the end of the DJ AM kind of like open format era, mashup era.
Yeah. Yes, exactly.
That was a tough time. What made you want to come to Vegas? Was it just the opportunities that was there?
It was just another place to be outside of the Bay Area, because that's when the hip hop and R&B stuff started to die in San Francisco.
Oh, right.
And San Jose was starting to try to pivot to the bottle service kind of steez too. And I wasn't even like in Oakland at that time. Like, so I had no home. Like I, went to LA in hopes of finding opportunities, and saw that they were in this weird drought. And it was like right before Selection popped off. So there was nothing going on. It was like maybe like, Low End Theory. Shout out to Low End Theory, who,
D Styles.
Yeah, D Styles and, all those guys. And that was really the only thing that was popping in LA that I felt like I could play at. And I was like, this can't be it. Yeah. And so I came to Vegas. I ran into Cricket in the Bay, because she was living in the Bay at some point, but this is after she moved to Vegas, and she was like, dude, you should come, rock at this spot that I'm at. It's a little barcade in downtown. And she put me on. The folks at Insert Coins put me on, and I became a resident. Dude, shout out to Charlie Darker too, who, basically let me crash on his couch while I was trying to find a home out here. And
big shout out to Les.
And yeah, man. And like now I'm seeing, and Yo Yoli, who's out here doing like the Sayo and all these other spots. Yep. Four Eyes was another person who was putting me on. And these were all people that we were all relegated to side rooms at this time. Now they're all the ones like, doing all the bigger rooms and booking all these bigger places. And like, just to see that full circle now, seeing all my homies who stayed in Vegas and stuck it out running shit is really emotional for me. So I was telling my boys earlier this week, it's like, it's so good to see my friends like really found their spot out here, and they're really holding the reins.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So
damn. So you did like a good 2-3 year run in Vegas.
Yeah.
And then you went back to
to the Bay Area, and that's when I started touring with Lyrics Born. That's when I got my show on 94.9 and started seeing more, San Jose stuff pop up again.
Wow. So it was like all timing.
Yeah, it's weird timing. Like just everything I had done was based on the timing. So wherever I'd end up is because the other place wouldn't take me.
That's so crazy.
Nomad, bro. I ain't mad.
Well, like, I can't wait for you to come back through, and we'll run this back again.
Yeah, let's get spicy the next time around, bro.
Yo, you guys got to start that party, though, because now I'm interested.
Bro, we should. We really should.
You and
it would be really
Cutso
dope.
Well, the thing is, like, I want to put it out there because I think it's an interesting concept.
Yeah.
But you hear about, like, younger DJs want to do back-to-backs, and I think that's interesting.
Sure.
But it's like we've been doing the back-to-backs for
Forever.
a long time.
Yeah.
Because there was this era in the 2000s and probably in the 90s as well where, it's like if you made it to this room or if you made it to this kind of tier where we're in the same rooms and we're like rubbing shoulders in the same venues.
Yeah.
It was kind of like, yo, you want to jump on?
Yeah. Right.
And that jump on culture is like, it's not prevalent anymore.
Right.
Yeah,
exactly. Like sometimes like Mark will be like, yo, bring your stick, and I think when I was just after, or just before I was getting into Vegas, this is when like Hollertronics was happening. This is when like
Shout out to the Holler board.
Yeah, Hall and Mason was a thing, the Scion era, you know what I'm saying?
Scion era.
Great socks.
Yeah, you had DJ duos,
Yeah. Yeah.
that were holding down rooms and doing big shit, you know?
Like the EC Twins.
Yeah, right. Yeah.
Another shout out.
Rocket scientists, you know, like those fucking guys. Like, yeah.
No, we're going to have back on, man. Cutso.
I would love to, man. Anytime, fellas.
Yeah. And shout out to the bangers in the room.
Shout out
Hey.
bangers, man. Shout out my crew.
Next time we'll have you all together because I didn't know you was usually mobbing deep like this.
Yeah, my fault. No,
I love it. I love it. But yo, Cutso, thanks again, man. Appreciate it, brother.
I appreciate y'all, man. Thanks.
Yeah. All right, man. Cutso, yo. If you want to watch more episodes from R.O.A.D Podcast, click either links on the left or the right. Don't forget to subscribe to our YouTube page and get updated on new uploads throughout the week. Peace.